TSN, Canada's sports leader.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have very little to play for these days. After racking up 12 straight wins, the Blue and Gold's just trying to stay healthy until they host the Eastern Final. The Argos have everything to play for. 2 wins in their last 2 games are almost mandatory if they want to make the playoffs in the West. But just because tonight's game means very little to Winnipeg, don't expect them to help Toronto in their quest. The Bombers look for Lucky 13 tonight on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Well, anytime's great football, but I know when it feels just right. We're gonna kick back, relax, watching football on a Friday night. It's Friday, and we're gonna be hard to tame. Yeah. It's Friday, from coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, get back, relax, watching Friday Night Football. Boys, it's too bad, playing CFL football. Game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
It was a chilly, windy day in Toronto today, so the roof will definitely be closed for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts tonight on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Kickoff is coming right up, but before that, we bring you inside the studio. Dave Randorf, Eric Tillman, Chris Schultz, Matt Dunnigan is in Regina on assignment, getting ready for the game tomorrow. Wave to Matt.
Hey, Matt.
How you doing, Matt?
Send your picks in, Matt.
And this is Eric Tillman's last night with us, Schultz. See,
I
this
know,
is it.
man.
He's moving on to build some kind of
Hey.
team in Ottawa, but we've seen this before, haven't we?
You got 3 years. I don't want to see you for 3 years. That's the length of your contract, right? Okay.
He's being very careful
3
not
years.
to burn the bridge here or anything
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So this is your last night. Keep it clean.
That's it.
All right, let's get serious here. We were all very impressed when the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won 10 in a row. 11 was even better. Then they went and made it 12 straight last week. Tonight they go for a lucky number 13, and they can break a CFL single-season record for most consecutive wins. However, they are going to be running into a desperate team looking to squeeze their way into the playoff picture in the Western Division. That is the Toronto Argonauts. Big night for them on their home field. But let's start with the Bombers here, Eric. Since they clinched first a couple of weeks ago, they've lost a couple of key players to injury, and now this week they have some off-field discipline problems with their star rookie, Charles Roberts.
Yeah, I spoke with Dave Ritchie this afternoon, and he told me that Charles Roberts' future, and Charles Roberts missed practice earlier this week. He will not be playing tonight. His future with the club will be based on a conversation that they're going to have later this weekend. You know, I know Dave very well, and his philosophy is no individual is bigger than the whole. But that said, Dave's a guy with a big heart. He realizes this is a young man, and I believe it will work itself out. But clearly the Bombers playing tonight without Charles Roberts and the multi-talented Milt Stegall are a disadvantage offensively. But it gives them an opportunity defensively to step up. And this is a defense that really has not gotten the credit, I think, that's due them. They lead the league, or first or second in the league, in 13 different defensive categories. And if they dominate tonight defensively, I think they win the game. It's a real challenge for the defense, Schultz.
It is. I mean, it is one heck of a defense, and that defense is going to be focused on number 27, Michael Jenkins. This young man needs 3 more yards to set the single-season rushing mark for the Toronto Argonaut organization, presently held by Gil Fenerday at 1,247 yards. Look for the Argonauts to run the perimeter of their offense, more towards the outside consistently. Why? Because the strength of the Bombers is on the inside with Doug Brown and Denny Fortney and Antonio Armstrong being the middle linebacker. That's a good area to run away from. You know, balance is so important in football, not just the run in the pass, but also being able to spread the field and using Jenkins in a variety of ways. That's what I'm looking for tonight, Dave.
Yeah, and it's a big game, as we said, for Toronto. These starting quarterbacks are brought to you by Wendy's. Kahari Jones will start. How long he stays in the game, we'll have to see. And Kerwin Bell back as the starter again for Toronto.
The Argonauts' magic number to make the playoffs in the West is 3.
Any combination of Argo wins or Lions losses totaling 3, and the Argos are in.
The kickoff is coming right up, live from Skydome.
Time now for last week's Car Star Crunch of the Week.
Left side, they'll have a first down.
no, I give him a 10.5.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones, a little submarine action on Michael Jenkins.
The Crunch of the Week is brought to you by CarStar Quality Collision Services. In a crunch, call 1-800-CARSTAR nationwide.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Hey.
SportCheck.ca is here to serve. Shop online for all the best brands. Check out our online web crasher and hot item deals. Enter our latest contest and get a heads up on weekly in-store specials. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Who would want to live in a semi-frozen, mosquito-infested backwater like Winnipeg? You stink! And the stench is beginning to rub off on your loser pig poo bombers! Maybe your football team will leave town too after the Rough Riders kick your butt!
CFL, the rivalry lives on.
Riders rule!
Kahari Jones is having an all-Canadian season. No quarterback has put up better numbers, and no one can remember the name of the last quarterback to win 12 in a row. He's 6'7" and 302. Doug Brown gets much of the credit on a Bomber defense extremely stingy against the run.
Brown will have his hands full tonight with Michael Jenkins, who makes a living out of making people miss. And a guy that doesn't miss much on defense for the Argos, Orlando Steinauer, who's licking his chops over the prospect of facing the Bomber backup quarterbacks tonight.
It's a miserable night in Toronto, so the lid at Skydome is sealed shut as the Argos try and keep their playoff hopes alive, and the Bombers look for a special place in CFL history with their 13th straight victory.
Big game tonight for the Argos, because to make the playoffs in the West, they need, well, their magic number is 3.
Dave Ritchie is the only coach in the league who knows where he'll be when the Grey Cup finalists are decided November 18th. All he has to do is get the Bombers ready and not rusty for the Eastern Final against Hamilton or Montreal.
So Mike Clements had to calm down his starting quarterback after last week's overtime loss to the Eskimos. Bell was upset for being pulled and talked about it to the media, something that didn't sit well with head coach Mike Clements, but they've worked things out, and Bell will start tonight. Big game for the Argos.
Well, as you've heard, Charles Roberts is not in the Blue Bomber lineup tonight. So Arlen Bruce is one of the 2 returners. Deep for Winnipeg in the opening kickoff from Noel Prefontaine. Marcus Howell begins at the 15. Good speed, nice run, and he ran into the kicker, Noel Prefontaine. Kahari Jones lead the CFL in most quarterbacking categories with a lock on first place. Robert Gordon is the Bombers' best receiver in the lineup tonight. Jeff Drover fills in for Milt Stiegel at slot back. Up front, Mike Abumetric and Rob Lazio are the latest new members of that Winnipeg offensive line. So the Bombers begin just outside the 35 at the 37. Play action fake. Kahari Jones swings it to Miller, sliding out of the backfield, and he's wrapped up by Tiggle.
Up front for the Toronto Argonauts on defense, Alfred Payton is in some kind of race for the sack title with Joe Mumford of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Payton has 14 on the season. In the secondary, Orlando Steinauer has 4 interceptions, 1 behind Wayne Shaw, who currently leads the CFL, tied with Jerron Bolden of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with 5. And Alfred Payton with 14 sacks on the season.
Yeah, 117 career sacks for number 99. Gain was 5 yards, 2nd and 2 Winnipeg, just out across the 40. Shotgun for Kahari Jones. Here comes the rush, got it away. And the Bombers will come up short of the first down as Eric Blunt made the catch at the 45. Well, so Marcelo Simmons was coming in on Kahari Jones, and he had to unload in a hurry.
Yeah, Dave Ritchie knows one thing. As long as Kahari Jones is in the game, he's going to see a lot of blitz from the Toronto Argonauts. They're going to go after him, and they're going to try and throw some shoulder pads and helmets at him.
Question is how long
will he
stays
stay in? Yeah, that is the question. And Dave Ritchie said yesterday probably a quarter, but it'll depend on how the game is going. You know he wants to keep that win streak alive.
Adrian Smith back near the Argonaut 25 as Bob Cameron unloads. Good kick by Cameron. Chasing Smith back to the 15. Room to the outside. Nice return. Smith is hauled down and forced out by Antonio Armstrong after a 15-yard gain. Well, here's the man everyone will be watching tonight. Michael Jenkins looks like the key to the Argonauts' success. Kerwin Bell starts for the Argonauts the game. Whether or not he finishes is another story. Ted Alford is easily the best of Bell's receivers. And up front, Earl Scott filling in nicely at center along the Argonauts' offensive line. Bell in a little hot water after comments made last week following the game when he was yanked. In spite of the fact the Argos had a bit of a lead at the time. Bell near side has Ted Alford. One of the problems last week is Alford didn't make any catches. He's got one tonight already.
Especially with Daryl Mitchell out of the lineup. Defensively for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they've had to juggle things around in the front seven. Wayne Weathers starts on the end. Rylan Wickman is out of the linebacking corps, so Antonio Armstrong moves back there, and in the secondary, they get Harold Nash back. He starts at halfback and will move to the corner in certain situations tonight. He had an ankle injury and was out for 2 weeks.
Gain is 5, 2nd and 5 for Bell and the Argonauts. Finds Jenkins sliding out of the backfield. Jerron Bolden can't make the tackle. But Capers is over to help out, and they force him out after a 10-yard gain for Michael Jenkins.
Michael Jenkins just coming out of the backfield. Of course, we talked about how close he is to Gil Fenerday, becoming the Argos' all-time leading rusher in a single season. That doesn't count in the stats because that was a pass.
He's got 10 already, but that won't go down in the books. He's also on target to set another Argonaut record to become the first Toronto Argonaut running back, and get this, to rush for 100 yards 7 times in a season. And when you think about all the great running backs in Toronto history, he will be the first to rush for 7 if he can do it tonight or in the final game of the season. Currently with 6 100-yard rushing games.
Well, and he can thank Mike Clements, the head coach, for seeing the football as much as he has in the second half of the year.
3rd and inches, and there looked like a little early movement, but no markers are down, so the Argonauts will keep this drive rolling. Gil Fenerday currently holds the Argonaut record with 12:47. You see where Michael Jenkins is, 2 yards back. Robert Drummond had a great run here as well.
So Michael Jenkins on the list twice. Last year over 1,000 yards in his rookie season, and now in his sophomore year set to break the record.
Jenkins needs 3 for the single season record for the Argonauts. Gets the pitch this time. Count him off. 1, 2. And a half.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to wait one more play.
I think he's got 2 yards there. Well, that'll tie him.
Very, very close. It looks like he got 3 yards out of it.
Well, no, our statistician is saying 2 yards.
Okay, we're going to have to wait one more run.
So it might be 2 and a bit, but it's not quite 3.
And that's one of the very few times you'll ever see the first guy that hits Michael Jenkins bring him down. That was Doug Brown.
On 2nd and 8, Bell will put it up. It's an all Jenkins show so far as he's wrapped up by Marv Coleman after gaining the first down on a reception.
Little curl pattern from Michael Jenkins. You know, I talked about Michael Jenkins making people miss in the open field. That's a stat that the Argos keep. Paul LaPolice up in the booth actually charts how many times Michael Jenkins makes a defender miss. And he's up over 70% in the last 4 games.
Bell will put it up again, looking deep this time, and too deep. Or Alford went the wrong way. It sailed right over Marvin Coleman's head. So Bell went a little too long. Coleman couldn't backpedal fast enough. Key to success for the Argos tonight.
Well, that's the guy. With Daryl Mitchell out of the lineup, Ted Alford becomes a very important target for the Argo quarterbacks. Not one catch last week versus the Edmonton Eskimos in that overtime loss. And for Kerwin Bell to move the ball in the air, he's going to need Ted Alford to step it up.
2nd and 10. Bell feels the heat, got it away, and missed his target. The newcomer, Russell Copeland. Wayne Weathers was supplying the pressure on Kerwin Bell that time.
John, these two teams have played each other twice during the season. Both Winnipeg wins, but Kerwin Bell played one time against the Bombers, put up 366 yards in that game in a losing effort. Jimmy Kemp played the other game, didn't fare quite as well. Whoa,
nice snap. Prefontaine brings it down. Kicking on the run, and this will be in the Bombers' favor as Donaldson picks it up. It looked like Prefontaine thought he might have some running room there, and then decided against it. It was an ugly play and a punt that traveled only 18 yards.
Unbelievable job just to catch it.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your Safeway Club card for automatic $1 million touchdown to win entry. If your name appears, you could win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in today's game. Shop and swipe at Safeway today.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Daryl, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
With the new Duramax diesel engine and an Allison automatic transmission, the 300 horsepower GMC Sierra Heavy Duty is the most powerful diesel pickup ever.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper.
The all-new GMC Sierra Heavy Duty.
Where's Maureen?
She ran out for supplies. You need help?
Nah, I can do it. Add toner. Add it where? 10,000. Uh-oh.
You go through a lot of supplies, but we can help you save.
Boss?
Maureen!
Everything okay?
There is something wrong with that machine.
Great buys on over 7,000 items like this global leather chair. Staples Business Depot, best buys in office supplies.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. And by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
No penalties on the return of the short Noel Prefontaine punt. The Bombers are set up at the 40. Eric Blunt tries the left side. Better than 5 as he's wrapped up by Adrian Smith.
Dave Ritchie will have an interesting meeting come Saturday when he gets back to Winnipeg with young football player that's played real well for him all season long in Charles Roberts, who missed a practice, was late for a first practice early in the week, was fine for that, missed the next practice, and now Ritchie wants to talk to him on Saturday to try and straighten things out. And he said, quite frankly, if he's smart, he'll make that meeting. If he's smart.
Well, they could certainly use him in this lineup because he's had an outstanding rookie season without question. We're talking about Charles Roberts, who is number 2 in the league in all-purpose yards at 24-26, and was an exciting guy to watch coming out of the backfield along with punt returns.
Well, yeah, and probably before this incident happened, and you never know after it and how it all is resolved, but Charles Roberts likely would have got some votes for Rookie of the Year.
Well, he may still. I mean, he's
he
had
may
that
still.
kind of a season, certainly.
And you wonder how much something like this may hurt that. And I know that he's not thinking of that, and neither is Dave Ritchie. Dave Ritchie's worried about his football team.
Well, he's missing a game at a critical part of the season, and I mean, a couple of kick returns tonight and the disruption he's causing the team. But anyway, Argos offside, Bombers get a first down. As a result, same play, Blunt. Nice spin move by Eric Blunt, and he'll turn it into a first down.
2 quotes from Dave Ritchie just to wrap this whole thing up with Charles Roberts. The 2 quotes that I thought were interesting. One was when he said, if he's smart, he'll make this meeting. He better hope I'm in a good mood. That was quoted from Dave Ritchie yesterday. The other one was, and I'm quoting him now, some players start to think they're legends in their own minds. He has put himself ahead of our team.
See, I know that's exactly what he said because you're standing here reading it out of your little notebook.
I made these notes yesterday at the press conference because I didn't
Very
want
impressive.
to quote Dave Ritchie.
Early movement again and more flags on the turf at Skydome. No scoring so far. 8:15 to go in the opening quarter.
Procedure, Winnipeg, number 66. Repeat first down.
Rob Lazio, who drew into the Bomber lineup as a starter last week.
Well, there's been 2 series now for Kahari Jones, and Dave Ritchie has told us that we will see the backup quarterback. So I think the key for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is for those backups to step it up. They're going to see a lot of playing time in this game. According to Dave Ritchie, if he sticks with his plan, they're going to have to play well to win.
First down and 15. Stoddard makes the catch. Jamie Stoddard.
You know, that's where guys like Orlando Steinauer and Wayne Shaw will get the eyes big as deer in the headlights when they start to see these backup and young quarterbacks come in the game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Steinauer has 1 game this year with 3 interceptions, has 4 total on the season, and then Wayne Shaw, 5 interceptions on the year. That's number 1 in the CFL.
Well, he's tied with Duran Bolden at 5 now. 5 is not a big number with 2 weeks to go in the season when you really think about it, to lead the league in interceptions. Kahari Jones unloading for Stoddard into double coverage.
Shaw had another one.
For Shaw that he almost had there. And teammate Rio Wells might have hurt his concentration a bit because he was in the coverage area as well.
Yeah, Rio Wells might have knocked it out of his hand, number 19, because Shaw had a great shot at that football, and that would have given him the all-out lead ahead of Jerron Bolton. Both players playing in this game tonight. Wayne Shaw.
Actually, Stoddard did a pretty good job of breaking up the interception there, didn't he? When he knew he couldn't make the catch.
John, you made the point about the interception totals being low, which is a little surprising this year considering the youth at quarterback on most teams.
Here's Cameron's kick. Not as deep this time. Coming down to Brown, and there's nowhere to go. He's dropped in his tracks at the 6-yard line by Wade Miller. 1 on the return, 42 on the punt, 0s on the scoreboard.
How's it going, Dave? How am I doing?
You're a natural. Hey, you got an oven in there, guys?
When you get that craving for Wendy's bacon mushroom melt.
Coming through. That was close.
With 3 strips of bacon and mushrooms in a cheddar sauce, you just have to get one.
Hey, Dave, come on in. We got to go get lunch.
I'm starting to get the hang of this. He says he's getting the hang of it.
Wendy's bacon mushroom melt. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Oh.
Remember, Wendy's pickup window is open late, so you can eat great, even late.
What are you doing?
Don't want to scratch the paint.
Smoother, roomier, more powerful. The all-new 2002 Explorer. Drive it. Love it. There are no boundaries.
Time for the TSN Playbook Trivia question. What Argo defensive linemen recorded 5 QB sacks in a 1988 game against Edmonton? Rodney Harding, James Curry, or Gerald Bayless? Stay tuned to this program for the correct answer and play.
Jack is back on top in the #1 movie in the country.
Jack the Ripper's no finish.
Johnny Depp, Heather Graham in a Hughes Brothers film, From Hell. Now playing only in theaters.
Here are the interception leaders. Jaron Bolden of the Bombers, Wayne Shaw leading the CFL with 5 each.
5 each. Jaron Bolden has 1 touchdown. Wayne Shaw has a couple of touchdowns. This being one of them versus Montreal when Shaw took this baby to the house.
It wasn't a pretty pass, but what
they all count.
It goes for 6.
Now with the Bomber defense on the field, get a chance to see number 21 Jaron Bolden.
Well, there's the record single season as a Toronto Argonaut rusher belonging to Michael Jenkins, who surpasses Gil Fenerty. 1247 for Gil Fenerty in a single season 12 years ago. The year was 1989. And Michael Jenkins officially over it now. He needed 3 tonight. Had 2 earlier, and all he needed was 1 on a great run here.
There's the run that puts Michael Jenkins' name in the history books for the Toronto Argonauts.
13 yards for Jenkins. And he has really been the key to Argonauts' success. When Jenkins has a good ball game, he's got it again. The Argonauts have fared much better against the opposition so far this season. Argos with a record of 6-10. Could be a little bit better than that.
John, there is no question about that. In the first 7 games of the year, Michael Jenkins saw the ball an average of 11 times for about 64 yards. And in the last 7, it's gone up to 113 yards. And because of that, he's been able to climb up this chart right here and pass Gil Fenerty, who set the record in 1989.
Nigel Williams flanks to the near side on 2nd and 5. Kerwin Bell looks the opposite way. Another drop pass, and that was something that the Argonauts were struggling with last week. Jenkins missed that one. He made a catch earlier. Talking to Coach Clemens about it yesterday, and I said, well, how were the receivers last week? Michael sort of looked at me and
wasn't
said,
happy,
well,
was he?
We weren't very good. In fact, Bell was good on 8 of 16, and Kemp in relief good on 5 of 5, which was a nice number for him. But that's 13 completions in the ball game and only about 140 yards passing.
It really is amazing what taking Daryl Mitchell out of the lineup will do, and that affects the entire team.
Well, and it affected Ted Alford last week a great deal, because the opposition was then able to key on the best receiver, and all of a sudden the other guys weren't up to it. Nice return brewing for Marcus Howell out across midfield into the 50-yard line.
There is a flag back around the 30-yard line. Basically, we're close to where the Argos kicked from.
So that's back at the line of scrimmage pretty well.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 9, first down.
So that's Cepha O'Reilly. Back to our theory. Let's put in the fair catch, get rid of the penalties on the returns.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Right, I know. Cash only.
The all-new A4. Suddenly, every ride's exciting.
We think you need to integrate your global supply chain,
move assembly overseas,
and accelerate inventory velocity.
Great. Do it.
Sir, we don't actually do what we propose.
We just propose it.
UPS can help redesign your supply chain and make it work. From managing logistics to financing inventory, we deliver more than just packages.
Can you believe that guy?
UPS, moving at the speed of your business.
Take control of your yard with a powerful steel gas blower. On sale for only $229.95. But it's only at a full-service Steel dealer. Visit our website for a Steel dealer near you. Steel, built to last, priced to sell.
Another horrible penalty by the Bombers. Let's check in with John Liu.
Well, John, further to Charles Roberts, the Bombers are obviously going to miss his 2,426 all-purpose yards. But the most important numbers to Charles Roberts right now are flight Air Canada 189 arriving at 10:06 tomorrow morning. That's about the approximate time he should be setting up his meeting with Dave Ritchie, but it doesn't end there because several of his Bomber teammates were not happy with what the rookie said and how he acted last week. So he's got some fence building, fence mending to do before he rejoins the team.
All right, John, Robert Gordon missed on that one, but I was talking about the penalty, Glenn. That cost the Bombers 34 yards.
Yeah.
And I mean, right back to the 25-yard line. That's crucial yardage. And I was kidding about the fair catch. We did discuss it a couple of weeks ago. When you think about the number of infractions on returns.
Yeah, and it's also the penalty yardage plus it's the return yardage gain. You know, and on those big returns it can really cost you, and that's what it's done to the Bombers.
3.5 first downs is where they're back. You know, a loss of 34, and back at the 25.
Marcelo Simmons dove at the sideline there for the Argos on that Robert Gordon attempt and went out of the football game afterwards. Landed hard after knocking that football down.
Second and 10 for Kahari Jones. Hasn't run tonight, won't run here. Oh, well, he lost the ball. Well, actually, he was in the process of throwing it and trying to complete it. And he was hit from behind by Kevin Kinney.
Every time Kahari Jones gets hit, you know the entire province of Manitoba will be taking a deep breath and holding it until he gets up and walks off the field. And I talked to him before the game about that because last week in BC, he got hit one time in his own backfield and grabbed his hamstring right away. And I thought, uh-oh, maybe he was injured. And he made that indication that he may have injured his leg. And he watched the tape after, and he came over and he said, you have got to stop scaring people like that. Just because I grabbed my leg doesn't mean I was hurt. And I said, okay, now I know. So if you grab your leg now in this game, I won't scare anybody in Manitoba by saying that.
Here's Cameron punting from his 10-yard line. Argonauts will begin at the 40. Doug Hocking leading the Bomber tacklers and limiting that to a 4-yard return.
Here's yet another reason Goodyear tires are worth thinking about. You've got 3 ways to win big with Goodyear's Drive for Gold. I've been spreading the word. Now that I got your attention, guys, here's the scoop. Come in and get up to a $100 instant rebate on Goodyear tires. Scratch and win for nifty prizes, then predict how Team Canada will do and win your tires for free. Pretty neat, huh? All right, lay ball. I got 2 minutes for being annoying.
Argonaut first down. Kerwin Bell stands in, got a man, and it's intercepted but out of bounds.
Well,
Ted Alford was the target.
The officials went down there and had a quick little conference on that. Marvin Coleman on the sideline. It looked like he had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
Well, they ruled it no catch, no interception. Another angle for you.
Well, they're saying that he just doesn't have complete control of the football as he goes out of bounds, and when he did, he was already out.
Second and 10, Argos at the 41. And another error down there.
It's interesting. Had a nice conversation before the game with Harold Nash.
Procedure, Toronto, number 62. Repeat second down.
He missed last week.
Yeah, missed last week with a high ankle injury, and he's playing on the corner tonight. He's lined up as a starting halfback. Will play on the wide side corner, and he talked about him and Marvin Coleman and said how good the secondary has become because of the veterans. He said in all his years playing in the CFL, and that includes 8 seasons, he has never had more communication in a secondary than he has here in Winnipeg, and that's a big, big difference if you can communicate.
Bell has Jenkins, and Jenkins is dropped right on the 40-yard line.
And then when you throw in Jerron Bolden, it really solidifies that defensive secondary for you because he does it all. Jerron Bolden right here. Now watch Bolden drop out of this zone and then come up in a hurry after he jams the receiver in the seam, takes a look. The ball is thrown in the flat, comes up and makes a solid tackle on Michael Jenkins. And I mentioned earlier, Michael Jenkins doesn't very often go down when the first guy hits him.
Love to watch number 21. John Bolden for the Blue Bombers play. Third down punting situation for the Argonauts. Prefontaine hauled down a high snap the last time. This one is perfect, and he keeps it low. Bouncing to Marcus Howell. And Howell has about 6 on the return. Bombers will begin inside the 30-yard line. Into the final 2 weeks of the season. Tomorrow, it's the Eskimos and the Rough Riders on Wendy's CFL Live from Taylor Field. Rod Smith and Matthew Dunnigan will be present.
Saskatchewan Rough Riders playing for pride and jobs for next year in that one.
And Hank Olisic is listed as the punter who happens at Eskimo.
I saw that.
Guarantee. What's up, Rock Henry? Saskatchewan.
Of course, the injury to Sean Fleming. Right here in Toronto.
It was, yes. Harry Jones, quick handoff. Eric Bluntz ran into Michael O'Shea. Now Blunt shared the rushing duties for the Blue Bombers with Charles Roberts and Troy Mills. We saw Roberts last week, and he played extremely well.
Well, he has, and Charles Roberts was seeing more of the football out of the backfield than Blunt or Troy Mills.
So the Bombers are missing that threat tonight. Jones got it away. No one home at midfield, right on the 55. There's Jamie Stoddard, who was in behind the cover. But Kahari Jones couldn't find him. So it's been a slow start for this Bomber offense. They're missing Milt Stiegel, of course.
Yeah, Milt Stiegel out of the lineup for the Bombers, and that's a huge loss. In the 2 games that these 2 teams have played, Milt Stiegel put up 101 yards and 10 catches in 2 games. I mean, that's not typical Milt Stiegel numbers, but very important catches. He had 2 touchdowns.
Well, he had 14 touchdowns on the season when he went out, 1,214 yards receiving. Bob Cameron to Adrian Smith. A seam opens up for Smith. He's across the 40 to the 45, and another flag is down. 43 on the punt, 11 on the return for Adrian Smith.
You know what they should do now is just, when either team decides to punt the football.
Illegal block. Toronto 33.
I think the guy should just throw the flag before the ball is even punted. just throw one and start marching off yards, and let's just get it over with.
Who were we watching the other night? 2 penalties on a punt. They were out near the 45-yard line, and by the time they added everything on and took the yards away, they were starting back inside the 10.
Yeah. Boy, it drives coaches nuts too, because you just say, look, if you don't see the front numbers, which Mike Clemens is likely discussing right now on the sideline with Fabian Rain, just don't hit him. If you see his name tag, don't touch him.
There's Mike Jenkins. And Michael is out across the 30 to about the 32 with 1 second left on the clock in the opening quarter. We've seen 7 punts so far. Very few first downs.
Well, it's amazing, John, and we talked about it, but it's amazing when you take the #1 receiver out of an offensive lineman. Look what's happened in British Columbia with the loss of Alfred Jackson, who looks like he will be back for Sunday's game in Calgary and play at least half of the time.
And both these teams are missing their #1 receiver too. Jenkins on the last play of the opening quarter, and he'll turn that into a first down. Jenkins over 35 yards in the opening quarter. Still no score. 0-0 on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Wendy's Friday Night Football at the quarter.
Well, not a lot going on in this ball game offensively, with the exception of Michael Jenkins, as expected, setting a franchise single-season rushing record, as set by Gil Fennerty, with Chris Schultz blocking, by the way.
I remember.
You know, your part of your record fell tonight, big guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
However, let's move along to what Toronto's doing defensively. You picked up a couple of things.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Dave Ritchie really is in a situation that has to be stressful in that how long does he leave his starting quarterback in? And I think Toronto can really take advantage of this. You watch this first blitz. They're all coming, especially up the middle. In just a second or two, Kari Jones would have taken a big hit. Now the second one, watch Marcelo Simmons on the top of the screen. Here he comes. He's got about a 15-yard run right onto Jones, and that is an issue because as long as Dave Ritchie sees his quarterback being protected, he's going to be comfortable with him playing football. If they get a couple good hits, he's going to pull that quarterback out as quick as possible. If he does that, big-time advantage for the Toronto Argonauts. They got to stay mentally tough, keep Jones in there as long as they can.
You know, an interesting point, Schultz, because we've made so much of Milt Stegall and Charles Roberts being out of the game that we failed to talk about another key loss for this Bomber offense, and that is they're playing tonight without their left tackle and their left guard. Mo Elowanibi, an outstanding left tackle. Controversial Brandon Dyson. We talk about his controversies, and we don't tell you the guy's a heck of a player. When those guys are out, it makes a big difference. I think Winnipeg has to run some traps, some draws, some middle screens, some things that take away the aggressiveness from this Toronto offense, because if they don't, this defense is going to get after the quarterback, and they cannot afford, like you said, to have Kahari Jones get hurt. It just they can't let it happen.
Speaking of guys who are hurt for Winnipeg, Milt Stegall, by the way, the injury is not that serious. He is expecting, sitting back at home in Winnipeg right now, he's expecting to be back in the lineup next week as the Bombers wrap up their regular season calendar against the Calgary Stampeders. Back to Skydome for second quarter action. Let's hope for some points. Here again is John and Glenn.
Well, not much excitement in that one. A total of 96 yards total offense between the two teams. We watched 7 punts as well.
Yeah, both teams struggling offensively, but I like that. That means that the defenses have showed up to play tonight. And there is nothing wrong with watching a little defensive football. This is arguably the #1 defense in Winnipeg, and Toronto's really come on in the second half of the season defensively.
Well, I didn't find it very exciting, but maybe better things are ahead. Alford makes the catch, and this is a good way for the Argonauts to begin the second quarter. Donaldson, one of 2 Bombers there, along with Marvin Coleman.
Yeah, we talked about him being the key to success for the Toronto Argonauts. Over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. 0 catches last week versus Edmonton, and working on Marvin Coleman there, pick up the first down. And basically, like you said about pinball, Clemens talking about the receiving corps, he's just got to get open.
Belgood on 5 of 9. This is Michael Jenkins again. Turns it into a 5-yard gain and maybe even 6.
Making people miss and talking about the percentage, and that the Argos keep track of that. And one of the reasons they started doing that was to grade their running backs in training camp, just to see how many people they make miss. And they actually assign someone to Michael Jenkins. In other words, the coaching staff, Paul LaPolice, will say on every play that there's one player not blocked. That guy, we want you to make a miss. More times than not, Jenkins does his job.
Jenkins 6 carries for 42 yards thus far, a couple there, but a marker is down. We've seen our fair share of penalties in the opening quarter of this football game at Skydome tonight as well.
And just think about that, John. 70% over the last 4 games for Michael Jenkins when he makes guys miss in the open field. That means if he gets the ball 20 times in a football game, only 6 times will the first tackler or first contact
Winnipeg,
pull him down.
number 90, first down.
So the Bombers are offside. Denny Fortney.
Now, having said all that about Michael Jenkins, he's up against a tough defense against the run in Winnipeg, isn't he?
#1 against the run, allowing just 76 yards a game.
They've made Michael Jenkins' life rough when they played him as well.
Argos get a first down out of the penalty. Kerwin Bell has time. He has a target. Ted Alford. And Alford turns and heads to the end zone, chased out by Byron Capers. 27 yards for Alford, who was BC's Rookie of the Year in '96.
Kerwin Bell had to step up and wait for Ted Alford to open up in the middle. Byron Capers was in pretty good coverage to start that play, and then Ted Alford just worked to the open area, and Kerwin Bell, because he had to hang on to the football, took a pretty good hit from Doug Brown. Three for 47 yards so far for Ted Alford.
And a first down for the Argos at the Bomber 14. The touchdown toss. Brown drops it in the end zone. Tyrone Brown. Not much of an excuse for that.
You don't get many opportunities like that back. He was in behind Dave Donaldson and Byron Capers. Capers had his back to the football and actually couldn't see that the ball was dropping right in the hole between Donaldson and Capers, and all he had to do was catch it.
Glenn, it's about as bad as any I've seen this year. I mean, that went right through the breadbasket.
Well, what you asked your quarterback to do in Kerwin Bell is to put it between the 8 and the 3. That's exactly where the football was.
Second down. Bell looks to this side. Gets a catch, but it went nowhere. Andre Kerwin.
Well, that's where the read took Kerwin Bell. In other words, when he saw what defense was in front of him, he basically was forced to throw the football way short of the first down and hope his receivers could make a couple people miss and pick it up.
He's hot. And I don't know if he's over there talking to Tyrone Brown, but that was a miss that's really inexcusable. Particularly in a game of this importance to Toronto. I mean, it was there.
Right, John. Absolutely right.
Denji Nkola has the first crack at points, and he missed
it.
Oh.
That's like shanking a 9-iron into the water. Yikes.
And you're only 15 yards from the green. Oh, baby, it's 1-0 though.
Waste $1 million touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 million entry. If your name appears, you've won this Sultan 3-in-1 Coffee Center. This versatile machine makes filter coffee, espresso, and frost milk for specialty beverages. Or the Weber Genesis Silver Bee Gas Grill, featuring crossover ignition system and the exclusive Weber Flavorizer system, designed to eliminate flare-ups. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
If a sports car could teach another car, what would the lesson be?
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Meet the teacher and the protege. The 16-valve 2-liter Mazda Protege. It's learned its lesson well.
You've always trusted Canada Post to securely deliver the things that are important to you. Now it's a whole new world, so we're delivering in a whole new way. From cyberspace to your place. From your world to around the world. Today's Canada Post, from anywhere to anyone.
Denji Nkola has just missed a 21-yard field goal. That's Lance Chomick, the Argonauts kicking coach, or at least part-time coach, talking to him. And if Halisic is back in the league, Chomick could come back too.
Well, if Denji Nkola misses many from that close in, he just may.
Bombers dodge a bullet, giving up a single point on an impressive Argonaut drive. With a touchdown dropped in the end zone. Here's Kahari Jones. Arlan Bruce III makes the catch. He's got about 7. Kahari leads the league with 29 touchdown passes. He'd like to play a lot before the Eastern Final.
I know Coach has some ideas, and I think we're going to play it by ear a little bit, but I would like to play the whole game if I could, you know. I mean, I just enjoy being in there and playing. I know I probably won't play the whole game, and I'll be happy to see Brian Ayad and Jose Davis get some time. But however long I play, it'll be fine with me.
Very diplomatic, wouldn't you say?
Well, and if you asked any player, though, on the field, you know, do you want to play? He's going to say, yeah.
Yeah, and do you think Dunnigan really wanted to let anybody else near the football when he was the starting quarterback, no matter what the situation was in the game, what the lead was, or...
But it's still a situation, though, John, where Dave Ritchie has to be careful. And we talked about that last week, and he's heard questions about it all week long from the media. And how long does he play Kahari Jones? Remember, a couple weeks back, we said that Kahari Jones was on pace to become the Winnipeg Blue Bombers' all-time leading passer. Ahead of Tom Clements, Matt Dunnigan, and Kerwin Bell, who's on the opposite sideline right now. That may not happen now because he's not playing as much, or if he doesn't play as much.
Big kick from Bob Cameron, chasing Tyrone Brown back to the 15. Out to about the 23, 8 on the return, 54 on the boots. Argonauts have the lead, 1-0 on Wendy's Friday Night Football from Skydome.
Hey folks, how are you? James Duthie back in the TSN newsroom. Get you back to the game in just a moment. First, we have hockey to tell you about. A couple of games in the NHL. Let us get you right to the highlights. First period action, the Sabres taking on the Habs. No score off the Habs turnover. Rob Ray will go to the net, and he is rewarded first of the year. Right now, it's 1-1. Brian Savage has the goal for Montreal. Islanders and Carolina late in the first, 4-on-4 hockey. Canes get a 3-on-1. Sammy Kapanen, Joseph Vazicek, he beats Chris Osgood. His fifth makes it 2-0. Now 2-1 in the second. The Toronto Raptors pulling a three-way trade today, getting forward Don McLean and cash from Miami. They'll likely waive him to make room for guard Carlos Arroyo. The Heat get Chris Gatling from Cleveland. The Cavs receive Brian Skinner from the Raptors and guard Ricky Davis from Miami. And Laurie Kane advancing to the quarterfinals of the World Ladies Match Play Championship in Japan. We'll get you to the second quarter in just a moment.
Aren't you going to bring your jacket?
Nah, I'll be fine.
It's getting chilly. Want to grab something to warm up?
Yes, if you want.
Nothing warms you up like a bowl of Tim's Own chicken noodle soup. Enjoy any one of our hearty soups with a toasted buttered bagel and a medium coffee for just $3.59.
Hey, what's your hurry?
Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
Welcome back to Skydome. Just 1 point on the board so far. It belongs to the Argonauts on a missed 21-yard field goal. And Kerwin Bell was a little upset at what happened to his team on the last drive. Let's bring in John Lou.
Thank you, John. I'm here with Mike McKenna, the event director of the Vanier Cup. And Mike, tell us how the CIS's annual showcases preparations are coming along.
They're coming along very well, John. We've really made a commitment to making this event the showcase event of the amateur football season, really the highlight, one of the top Canadian football events of the year. And that's what we're pushing for this year here December 1st at the Skydome.
Last year, you made a big change by moving the event to the week after the Grey Cup. What other changes do you have planned to help the success of this event this year?
Yeah, well, again, it comes back to that commitment to football. And we've made a commitment to high school football. We've included 3 high school games on the night before the Vanier Cup, a combine in the morning out for 400 high school students, hopefully this year. We've put forward also a great day for minor football kids to come down to the Skydome, be here for the day, and really make a commitment to making them the future football fans of Canadian football.
Well, thank you very much, Mike, and best of luck with that. Be sure to watch the Vanier Cup coming on TSN Saturday, December 1st.
4th sack of the year for Sepha O'Reilly. And more heat. Kerwin Bell, he won't get it away this time either. Wayne Weathers was there. And that's sack number 3 for Wayne Weathers. So back-to-back sacks. And Kerwin Bell is back to the bench.
Sepha O'Reilly's speed rush on that one on first down, and then you're going to see Wayne Weathers come off the corner in a hurry on the blitz. Jerron Bolton flushes Kerwin Bell up into the pocket, and standing there waiting for him is Wayne Weathers.
So sack number 26 and 27 for the Bombers. Arlen Bruce is back. Marcus Howell is back along with Arlen Bruce.
If Prefontaine punts the football.
Yeah, he may not. Well,
looks like he's going to.
Bombers will have good field position. Across midfield now. And yards to spare for Marcus Howell. He is inside the 25 and about at the 32 with a 24-yard return. Bombers get a chance to head for the end zone.
No flags.
Oh, how about that?
Man, that That sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Tell me why it should be.
Introducing the 2002 Hyundai Sonata. More power, more room, more desirable.
Something to me that nobody else can do.
The best thing about the Coors Light Silver Sweet Football Party is you don't have to play football to get in. See details at a participating bar near you. No purchase necessary. Must be legal drinking age. Are you ready for some football?
Introducing the new Bic Soft Twin Shaver. Twin blades, pivoting head, soft feel grip for smooth skin. Try a Bic Soft Twin Shaver today.
Remember, Wendy's pickup window is open late, so you can eat great, even late.
Final of the Vanier Cup is coming up December 1st right here at Skydome. There's the number to call for tickets.
Well, so far the top three in the CIS, St. Mary's, McMaster, and Manitoba. So if any one of those teams makes it to the Vanier Cup.
Giant turnaround here for the Blue Bombers with Brian Ayette at the controls, replacing Kahari Jones, as was the plan. Arlen Bruce, the third, makes the catch. Nice throw as he gets inside the 20 at about the 19. Ayette to Arlen Bruce, the third.
Ayette in a nice throw on the run, get him to the outside of the pocket. Use his legs a little bit, get under that throw and throw it right to the sideline. And just to continue on a little bit with Dave Ritchie's plan with his backup quarterbacks and Brian Ayette, Kahari Jones on the sideline. They want to play the backups a little more this week against Toronto, and then next week have Kahari play maybe 3 quarters.
Gain of 14, Bombers. First down, drop pass, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Orlando Steinauer, his 5th interception of the year. Right in the race. Moves into a tie for top place with his teammate Wayne Shaw, and his opponent tonight, Jerron Bolden. 5th interception for Steinauer on the season.
There's Steinauer right at the top of your screen right there. And he's going to look at the eyes of Ayette. See him looking that way, looking all the way. He breaks on the football. The ball's thrown in behind Andre Arlane, and away he goes. Watch Brian Ayette look to where he's going to throw the entire time. And that brings the safety over. I told you at the beginning of the game, Orlando Steinauer, he's licking his chops right now. He's got the young quarterback in there, and he wants to pad the stats tonight.
5th interception of the year for Steinauer. And the Argonauts dodge a bullet and get the first down across the 30-yard line.
Put Orlando Steinauer's name right up on the top of the list in the interception department. He now has 5, but look at the top of the list. Winnipeg, Toronto, Toronto, Winnipeg, Winnipeg. Both teams coming into this game, 22 interceptions on the season, tied for number 1.
It's not like it used to be in this league.
Well, that's true.
It's not like it was when 27 was playing for the Riders.
What's up? What's up? Stay with us.
Well, you know, back in the old days,
12
or 13 interceptions used to lead the league, not 5 or 6.
Kerwin Bell goes deep, too deep, and a flag comes down. Donaldson on the coverage. Dave Donaldson covering Ted Alford.
You know, Dave Donaldson did not have to do that. This is a player who's really come on in the last 2 or 3 games. Had a great game against Hamilton.
Forward pass interference. Winnipeg, number 2, first down.
I'm not sure it was catchable, was it?
The ball was thrown high. They're right down here at the bottom of your screen. Look at the position Dave Donaldson is in. I mean, he really can't get any better than that. That ball is up and overthrown, and he has no reason to grab Ted Alford's hands. I don't think Alford would have caught.
No, I think it was about 5 yards too far, 3 yards anyway. It's a 33-yard penalty against the Bombers. The Argos have a first down at the 40. And Michael Jenkins has the ball with another 5-yard gain.
It looked to me like Kerwin Bell there had the option to either give that ball to Jenkins or take it to the outside, and I think Michael Jenkins flat out took it from him.
$51 yards for Jenkins on the night.
Halfway to the 7th 100-yard game in the season, which would also be an Argo record.
Yeah. Several other players have had 6 100-yard seasons.
100-yard games in
100-yard games in a season, yes. Away now. Wrapped up for the 3rd time, and Wayne Weathers has a couple tonight.
Yeah, see, Michael Jenkins got caught up in the mix there. He got caught looking at Lamar McGriggs and Antonio Armstrong in the middle of the defense. See, watch here. Jenkins gets caught looking here. He doesn't see the backside where he's got to go and seal for Kerwin Bell. See, he slides over, he's looking at Lamar McGriggs, and then it's too late. He got caught too far in the line of scrimmage, and he can't get back to get Wayne Weathers, and Wayne Weathers gets Kerwin Bell. See, he tried to get back in time, but by then it was too late. And that bus was already on its way to the stop.
Argonauts out of field goal range. Bell a little frustrated.
Well, so far they're not going to have to replace the scoreboard lights. That's for sure.
Hey, you got to get out.
It's 1-0, and I think that was on the power play. The Argos got that lead.
6:33 till halftime. It was really not the power play; it was a power failure.
Oh.
No, Prefontaine angles that one out of reach. Nice kick. Well, that's all we have to report thus far after a 37-yard pass.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
How am I doing?
You're a natural. Hey, you got an oven in there, guys?
When you get that craving for Wendy's bacon mushroom melt.
Coming through. That was close.
With 3 strips of bacon and mushrooms in a cheddar sauce, you just have to get one.
Hey, Dave, come on in. We got to go get lunch.
I'm starting to get the hang of this.
He says he's getting the hang of it.
Wendy's bacon mushroom melt. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Oh.
Remember, Wendy's pickup windows open late, so you can eat great, even late.
Bombers 1st and 10 at the 10. The pitch. And Troy Mills has his first carry of the game. Ayette was intercepted on his last pass as he fired behind the intended target, Andre Arlane. Arlane had a hand on it and tipped it right to Orlando Steinauer.
I talked to Rick Warman about Brian Ayette's performance last week. He's on the right of your screen. Rick Warman spends the first half up in the booth and the second half on the sideline. And he said, I didn't play that badly. Didn't put up big numbers. But he just didn't ever get to that second read in the progression. I'll explain that. And what that is that when the quarterback drops back to throw, he has a progression of reads that takes him from one receiver to the next. He takes that first read, and that first receiver is covered. He goes to the second one. And Brian Ayette never really got to the second
Winnipeg,
read.
Number 54, repeat second down.
And that's just inexperience from the young quarterback. But he said other than that, he played pretty well.
Matt Sheridan is number 54. Got onto the Bomber roster a couple of weeks ago out of the University of Manitoba. Had been hanging around in the practice roster, and injuries up front have depleted Winnipeg's offensive line, so Sheridan got an opportunity to draw in.
Well, that secondary right now for the Argos, it's going to be a race for the football. Now they won't get a chance.
Very safe on 2nd and 10. Troy Mills again. Kelvin Kinney wrapped him up.
Yeah, probably a pretty good chance that if Kahari Jones is in the football game, they're not running to Troy Mills on 2nd down and about 6 or 7. No matter where they are in the field, they're going to have Kahari Jones drop back and throw that. You have inexperience in Brian Ayette, who's already thrown an interception. You tend to be a little more conservative as a coach.
Bombers have yet to convert on second down. 0 for 6 on second down conversions. Cameron's kick.
Oh, he's pounding it tonight.
Adrian Smith return. Got a little power boost there on a tackle from behind and got about 6 extra yards. He's down near the Winnipeg 40. Nice return for Adrian Smith of 22 yards. No flags anywhere. So the Argos get another chance to head for that Winnipeg end zone. Game 1 of the World Series is tomorrow night. Yankees.
Come on, Arizona. Come on, Arizona. No? Is that not the way I should be treated? You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Schilling against Mussina. There you go.
Well, how many times can the Yankees win the thing?
Well,
I mean,
they won it a few in a row and many over the course of history.
So the owner has a big fat wallet and they just buy championships. All right.
Well, it seems to go that way in baseball, at least it helps. Here's Jenkins. Nice little spin move to get away. Although the Mariners had a wonderful year without a super huge payroll. Anyway, the series starts tomorrow.
All
you
right.
can catch it with us.
Let's hope it goes 4 straight and get it over with. Anyway. We can see more of this man, Michael Jenkins.
Used to be a game or two in the World Series here, 92, 93. You remember that?
It was so long ago, wasn't it?
The place used to be full of baseball fans.
So long ago.
Second down. Catch is made. Attack. Nowhere to go after the catch by Nigel Williams as Harold Nash was there. And he played it perfectly.
And Nigel Williams gets up limping after the hit from Harold Nash, who broke on that football in a hurry. This ball takes a long time to get out there. Watch 00 just come up and do his lumberjack imitation and just chop down Nigel Williams. And he's got the Charlie horse. Nigel Williams really doesn't wear any leg pads. You can see his pants. He doesn't have those big thigh pads or knee pads on there. And that's right where the helmet of Harold Nash ended up, right on that thigh. Because, you know, the receivers, they don't want to be weighed down by any of those foam pads. And they weigh all of about 3-4 ounces. And you never know.
You're a lot faster without them.
That could be the difference in that deep ball. It really is amazing what players go through in their rituals and their superstitions and padding that they wear and T-shirts. Most guys usually wear the T-shirts they wore since they made that first high school football team, and they're barely hanging on by threads underneath the pads.
Argos are gambling. Third down, a foot to go. And Kerwin Bell keeps it himself. Should have the first down to keep this Argonaut drive alive.
Well, this is a golden opportunity, John, for the Argos. We saw them down in the scoring range earlier in this game, and they threw that football into the end zone to Tyrone Brown. He dropped it, missed the field goal. That was missed opportunity number 1. This is opportunity number 2, and they're going to have to measure this.
I thought he had the first down easily, and that was the indication from one of the officials down there, but they will measure to make sure. That's almost impossible, isn't it? They needed a foot. Hard to believe. Argos turn it over on downs. Turnovers even, 1-1.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your club card and receive a bonus entry when you purchase Kellogg's Eggo Waffle Centers or Kellogg's Jumbo Cereals. And you could win the Sultan 3-in-1 Coffee Center, the Philishave Quadra Action Shaver, $200 in Sport Mart gift certificates, the Casio wrist camera, or win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to the Club Marival Resort in Nueva Vallarta, Mexico, courtesy of Sears Travel Service and Air Transat Holidays. Play $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway today.
The staple gun is a great time-saving tool, but with the kickback, sometimes it's hard to get the staples to go in flush.
Here, try this.
From Canadian Tire?
Yep.
Knew it.
It's the Mastercraft Sure Shot Staple Gun.
Hey, new design. Much lighter.
Oh, wait, it's backwards.
Hey, that's great.
Forward action virtually eliminates kickback to drive the staples in flush.
Yeah, I can use my wrist, my arm, and my body weight in the same direction as I drive the staple. they're all flush.
I just used my Sure Shot on the screen door. I stapled the screen to the frame in minutes, and with the quick load system, I switched very easily to brad nails and installed the molding in no time. And there's a built-in wire guide to center the staple over low voltage wire for perfect alignment.
The forward action design really makes awkward projects easier.
Get your Mastercraft Sure Shot staple gun with staples and brad nails, now only $29.99. It's also available in contractor model for $39.99. Another innovative product found only at Canadian Tire stores and online.
Third down, a foot to go, and the Argos did not make it. So the Bombers take over on downs at the Winnipeg 31.
And I think the Argos got a bad spot on the play.
Takes out for the first time. Let's go back. He's got about 7, maybe 8 yards before running into Mike O'Shea. Another look here.
Yeah, let's go back to that gamble. I think the Argos got a bad spot. They needed about a foot. Now, this is the line they need to get to right here. So we're going to just take a look at that line. Now, keep focused on that. All Bell has to do is go over that line. To me, it looks like he's over there. Now, stop it there. That line is right here. If you continue that line up, it goes right through Kerwin Bell's waist. It looked to me like he had the first down and then was pushed back, and that's where they spotted the ball after his forward progress.
And when they spotted it and measured it, he lost a yard, which is hard to believe. Intercepted, second pick of the night, tossed up by Ayetz. Marcelo Simmons has his 4th of the season.
As a defensive back, John, with a young quarterback, the confidence is oozing out of you. You jump on the football so much quicker because you know that Brian Ayetz will not go to his second receiver. So if he's looking at your guy, you might as well break on it. Like Marcel Simmons takes a peek, he sees him looking, he says, I'm coming downhill, I'm breaking on this thing because I know you're not going to pump fake me. That's 2 interceptions now for the Argos and Brian Ayetz.
Yeah, the last 2 passes. This one could prove a little more costly. With the Argonauts in Winnipeg territory.
This is their 3rd opportunity down here now.
At the 42. Bell sideline. Missed his target. Looking for Tyrone Brown.
Thought Kerwin Bell got locked into Tyrone Bell on the sideline. I thought he had receiver over the middle. But he got kind of locked into Tyrone Brown, and really Brown was covered. But again, this is the 3rd. We saw the first chance down in the scoring range, and it was a missed field goal by Giancola.
Well, it was first it was the drop touchdown pass in the end zone. Right on the money by Bell. Then they missed the field goal. Now it's almost intercepted by the Bombers going the other way. Denny Fortney.
Well,
this is a little ugly here tonight.
We may see Jimmy Kemp very shortly. You got to give credit to the Winnipeg defense because this is something they haven't seen a whole lot. See number 90, Denny Fortney? He drops out of there. He's a defensive lineman. That's somebody that Kerwin Bell will not account for in the pass coverage. See, he looks at Jerron Bolden over the top, and Bell sees Bolden in behind, but he doesn't realize that the defensive lineman, Denny Fortney, has dropped out of there and is in coverage.
Dan Giancola missed from 21. Let's see how he does from 49. That's where it's spotted by Jimmy Kemp. And he missed that one too, so he's 0 for 2. That one a little more excusable than the 21-yarder, but now it's 2-0 as we head to the
I think,
3rd period.
John, all the Bombers have to do is pull their goalie and they can get right back in this game.
The guys are ready at the half.
And you know, I'm a little teary-eyed today.
Well, Eric's moving on.
He's moving on to the Ottawa franchise, and I tell you, a little teary-eyed.
Well, it's
I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. Go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Congratulations, Eric, on getting the job. It was a huge surprise to everyone in Canadian football. Anyway, from us to you, we have a name for your Ottawa franchise. We know it's not going to be the Rough Riders. How about the Ottawa Renaissance?
Now that's neat. That has a bit of a ring to it.
Webster's Dictionary defines Renaissance as the revival of anything which has been in decay or extinct.
Revival of anything in decay or... Okay.
And Eric, you could still have the big R's on the helmets. Ottawa Renaissance, that's our suggestion. Here's Eric Blunt. Turns the corner, grabs about 5.
And
What do you think?
And if you check in, you get air points.
Eric, I hope you're writing that down because we'd like it on Brad Waters' desk, at least as one of the suggestions.
Well, I will say this. They have got the right guy to manage that football team in Eric Tillman. He is so well connected with United States football, college football in the States, pro football in the States, and of course all of Canada as well.
Guess who's not on his list? There's the toss. Nicely played by Adrian Smith as Ayat barely got it away, and Robert Gordon was there and waiting.
Well, who's not on his list?
Well, I was going to say Tyrone Brown.
Oh.
You dropped that one in the end zone, and oh my. That was a good defensive play. Ayat was almost on the money.
Well, see, and Adrian Smith, right over on the right of your screen here, he's coming across, and he just let Robert Gordon
Offside.
run down the seam. He
Winnipeg,
wanted Brian
number
Ayat to
82.
throw that.
Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Basically saying, hey, your guy's open, go ahead and try and throw that one, and I'm going to come across, and he just drops the football, or he gets into the interception race.
Ayat with a couple of interceptions so far, missing Gordon there. So it's 3rd down with 1:43 till halftime.
You see what Robert Gordon said? He just said, hey, just throw it in there. Don't put that much time on it. You're allowing the defensive back to catch up.
Tyrone Brown back at the 20. Bob Cameron has lifted a couple here tonight. This isn't one of them. Coming up a little short near the 30, and Brown is wrapped up right there. 34-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Winnipeg as we return. Or 1st and 10 Toronto, I should say. Sports Center with Dutch and Duthie. Right after we're done here, all the highlights. And it might be a tough night to be pulling them from this game.
Well, we'll have to wait till the second half to find a couple. You know, when Duthie left us, football panel show, it was...
Well, you cried loudly at that.
I was teary-eyed there, too. I get so close to these guys. Okay, go ahead.
Bell has Michael Jenkins, who holds on, and is wrapped up by Brian Clark.
You're going to stay, aren't you?
Well, you never know.
Well, I'm a little surprised.
It's a weird world out there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Kerwin Bell has stayed in the game. You know, he's struggling, and he gets down in the... Now,
this may be
the Tyrone Brown throw was bang on, and that was just a flat-out drop ball in the end zone, so you can't blame Bell for that one. But since then, he struggled a little bit. Sacked a couple times, has another 2 opportunities inside the 40 of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and out of the 2 opportunities, come away with just 1 point. Last week versus Edmonton, Jimmy Kemp, who's on his right, came into the game when Bell had the lead, but had not put up very good numbers.
Yeah, Bell 9 of 16, 79 yards. Not a productive evening thus far, but it's 2nd down and about 4 to go. We'll take a quick timeout for an injury at Skydome.
All across the country, people have places to go, things to do. So they go Midas for total car care. Need an alignment? We do that. Air conditioning? We do that. Brakes? We do that. Oil changes? We do that. Batteries too. Of course, mufflers. And we do all that with our certified technicians and our nationwide guarantee. So for total car care, who does it all? Midas. We do that.
Couple of games on the weekend. Tomorrow it's Edmonton at Saskatchewan.
Important game for Edmonton there, and then on Sunday, how about that one?
This is a battle for the playoff spot.
Well, they have to battle for the spot now. 1 point behind the Argos.
Argos are still in the running, a point ahead of BC, 1 point behind Calgary in the Western crossover race.
That's right. So that's a big, big game for the BC line. Not to mention the fact that they need to snap a horrible losing streak that they've just played terrible over 4 games.
They've lost 4 games and not looked very good. Talking about the BC Lions, the record has dropped to 6-9. The Eskimos lead the West with 17 points. The Lions are now 5 back. And 3 weeks ago, BC was in the driver's seat, ready to take a stranglehold on first place with a 1-point lead on Edmonton.
Yeah, just not the way you play if you're defending champions. And to make it even that much more interesting, Willie Fells, linebacker for the Calgary Stampeders, did a little talking this week, directed towards Robert Drummond, called him trash. So that'll be interesting to watch in that game on Sunday.
Michael Jenkins. A big hit down there on Jenkins, who shakes it off and is up and back to the huddle, ready for more.
And they may not be scoring, but they're hitting.
No, and some nice defensive plays in the game to suggest otherwise is not factual. However, we wouldn't mind a touchdown before the half. Jenkins takes the swing pass on first down, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage with 47 seconds to go.
You have to work at everything you get when you're playing against the Winnipeg defense, and they just continue to come up with open field tackles and continue to find ways to beat you. And you think of what Gene Gaines threw in there when he dropped Denny Fortney out of the defensive line into coverage and surprised Kerwin Bell. Fortney dropped the ball, or would have had an interception.
Bombers defense is #1 in 13 categories coming into this. Kerwin Bell, second down, has Jenkins, but that play had very little chance of getting a first down for Toronto, and Bell is down. Don't forget, the Argonauts have a fairly decent opportunity to cross over and make a playoff spot.
Well, this game is so important because if they can win, if they can hang on and win by 2 goals like they are right now, you look at this crossover, and the Lions should lose to Calgary on Sunday.
You said if.
If the Lions do, that's it. If the Lions
sounded like you said should lose. If
the Lions should lose on Sunday. I'm glad you pointed that out, because we're going to go see them.
We're going to go and talk to Steve.
You know what? I'll tell you something. The Argos at that point have control of their own destiny. Now they win the final game of the season. The Lions can win their remaining 2, because remember, they have the game in hand, and still not catch the Argos. But they have to win tonight and hope the Lions lose on Sunday.
The Argonauts cannot clinch a playoff spot tonight. No. They cannot be eliminated from the playoffs either. That's the way it goes. However, no chance of representing the East in the Grey Cup.
Well, they've got a commanding 2-0 lead now, and it's just a matter of hanging on.
A little neutral zone trap.
Well, it's been working well for them so far. A little clutch and grab in the neutral zone always helps.
No, Prefontaine at his 32-yard line.
You know, John, I think if we just take out the red line, we can see some more scoring. Okay. Boy, he's kicking the ball low.
And Marcus Howell won't have a play.
You know, that's a good kick. He gets it out of bounds, but no, Prefontaine is kicking the ball very low, and that can be returnable. In other words, you kick a low, hard ball like that, and the returner can get his hands on it. Your cover team has not had a chance to get down the field. Watch for that in the second half.
Yeah, and a 58-yard punt rolling out at the 5 would be a little more important if there was time remaining in the first half, but we've really only got 16 seconds to go. I mean, if they were able to pin the Bombers deep, get the defense out there, 2 and out, there's fairly decent field position in a hurry.
Well, I count 4 opportunities for the Argos that they didn't capitalize on. Winnipeg has struggled with their backup quarterback. Remember, we said that was the key. In order for the Bombers to win this game tonight, their backups would have to step it up.
Looks like they'll run it out as Ayette takes a knee.
Now you wonder if Dave Ritchie goes back now to Kahari Jones in the second half just to get that W.
Well, and he might as well give that some thought. Come out and start Kahari Jones here. Well, I mean,
risk.
12 wins in a row. You hate to see a streak end on a night like tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd hate to see the streak end at 2-0 or 5-0 or something like that.
But more importantly, you hate to see the knee of your starting quarterback get blown out in a game that doesn't matter. So, tough decision for Dave Ritchie, but talking to him yesterday about the decision, he was saying, you know, I've seen quarterbacks rested, talking about Doug Flutie when he was in Calgary, rested once the playoffs were clinched, and then not really perform as well as he should have in the Western Final that year.
Well, this is going to be the Eastern Final, November 18th. You want your team ready, not rusty, right? And I mean, that's what Ritchie is weighing here over this game and one more next week.
You know, and in fairness to Dave Ritchie, he's never been in this position with 3 games to go to have locked up first place. So this is new territory even for him and his experience.
Bombers with 77 net yards in the first half. And they didn't get enough time off the clock, at least unofficially here. So they may have to get back into kick formation and call on Cameron. Well, it's ticking down now, but
it's running now. All they need to do is make sure they don't fall back into the end zone once it gets to zeros.
Well, we've got zeros on the clock, so all they have to do is take a knee here, but that was kind of strange. The way they ran out the clock there. That's the opening quarter. Boys are ready at halftime. Remember, Eric, the Ottawa Renaissance.
For reservations, call anytime.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN. Live at the half is brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL.
And with Matt Dunnigan sitting somewhere in Regina watching this one, it's just Dave, Eric, and Schultze here. Well, guys, you know, on behalf of the panel, if I may, on behalf of the panel, we have a message for the offense of both the Argos and the Blue Bombers, and it goes like this. Yo, wake up!
Pick it
I don't
up.
know if you got the memo, but this is national TV here.
Yeah.
You're killing us. It's week 17 here. Want to see what I got written down for this game? Nothing. It's 2-0, which means, of course, we are going to talk about defense, Schultze. Start with the Bombers.
You know, I'm surprised. I mean, really, the Toronto Argonauts are playing very flat. Each team is kind of trying to avoid mistakes as opposed to creating plays. But if there is one highlight for me, it's been the play of the Bomber defense, and especially their defensive backs. Jerron Bolden gets a lot of credit, but Harold Nash is also a defensive back on this team that has done a great job. You look at the secondary and the importance of the positions. Cornerbacks can be bordered by the sidelines. The safety kind of flows from sideline to sideline. But what makes the difference is when you can find defensive backs because of the area that they have to cover. And that was a great example of a defensive back coming up and making a big hit. One of the reasons the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are a good football team, Jerron Bolden and Harold Nash. 2 great defensive backs, Eric.
You know, in that play you just showed, Chris, I thought Glenn Suter made a very interesting point when he pointed out that Nigel Williams does not have on either hip or knee pads. In my opinion, and maybe this is just my management background coming out, but when a guy refuses to wear protective gear, if he gets hurt and that protective gear is available, which clearly it is in this situation, he should forfeit a paycheck. That's cheating the football team. And speaking of Argo receivers, Tyrone Brown, here he is in a critical game, a throw right in the breadbasket. My goodness. I mean, right in his hands. Dan Giancola follows this up by missing a gimme field goal, so that ends up being a 6-point drop. Hey, when you've got a head coach and a general manager like Michael Clemens and Paul Mazzotti that played at the level that those guys did, I mean, this has got to be unbelievably frustrating. You could coach them, you could manage them, but ultimately the players have to make plays.
You know, when you said Suter made a good point, I thought you meant about the team name, the Renaissance? No?
I'm not touching that one.
Beavers? We still like Beavers. River Beavers? All right, let's move along.
Commercial.
Shall we? The defense is having a big say in this ball game tonight. Wayne Weathers and the Blue Bombers trailing by 2 at the half.
You're world-class, Toronto. World-class losers! The Argonauts, they suck! Oh, we're too good for the CFL. We want the NFL. There's too much foam in my latte. The Ticats are gonna beat your mocha-sipping, pastry-eating butts, you elitist snobs!
CFL, the rivalry lives on.
Mr. West, you're still my hero.
Thank you.
I want to be your sidekick.
My sidekick.
Yeah, you know, because Listerine's the action hero for your gums, so I thought we could team up.
I'm not really.
And that way we could fight the evil gingivitis together.
Jerry?
Jerry, back off. I've got germ-killing action.
Holy wacko.
Listerine, the action hero for your gums. Now try new Tartar Control Listerine.
Experience the true intensity of color.
Herbal Essences hair color, made with pure color extracts that saturate your hair for intense, long-lasting color. Herbal Essences hair color. Experience the intensity.
Now, Herbal Essences and TSN want you to experience true intensity football. Grey Cup 2001. Enter the Intense Grey Cup contest. You and a friend could be off to Montreal. Hit tsn.ca/intense. Herbal Essences. Experience the intensity. This day in the CFL.
October 26, 1985, Bombers in the stands. Tom Clements hooks up with Jeff Boyd for a 13-yard touchdown. And later in the game, those two hook up again, this time for 34 yards. Winnipeg routs the Stamps 47-4.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
All right, here's what the rest of Week 17 looks like in the CFL. The Edmonton Eskimos can clinch first place in the West with a win in Regina tomorrow on TSN. Then you've got on Sunday the Ticats and the Alouettes. Basically a playoff game. It is a preview of the Eastern semifinal. This game could very well decide who hosts that game. And then on Sunday, also on TSN, you have BC at Calgary. The Lions have lost 4 in a row. Calgary can secure a home playoff date in that ball game. Big game, though, in Montreal, right, Chelsea?
Isn't it, though? I mean, this really is. It's funny how a football season can come down to one game that can really make it or break it. I mean, no team has gone from third place in the East and won the Grey Cup since 1970, and that was the Montreal Alouettes. But I think Hamilton has a real opportunity here. They're 4-1 in the last 5 games, but it's the tightness of the scores I really like. There's an absolute key and critical issue with Danny McManus keeping calm, cool, and collected. That's why they've won so many close games. On the other hand, you look at the Montreal Alouettes, they have yet to win a game in the last 5. And you know what's really funny about that? I think emotionally, sometimes football teams have a hard time really dealing with the fact that they're losing. It's easy to get frustrated and it's easy to get down on other players. Can they turn it around quickly? I'm not sure, because even if Anthony Calvillo comes back, how sharp is he going to be? I think Hamilton has the opportunity, and I think their next big test is when they have to play those 3 games in such a short period of time. You know what, though? When they go into that playoff game, that 3rd game, they're going to be really tough. They'll be battle hard. So I don't look at it as a big negative, but Hamilton has a good opportunity, Eric. They really do.
Yeah, they do, Schultze. I want to talk about the Sunday game, though, between BC and Calgary. You know, Calgary is really playing quality football right now. They've won their last 2 games and easily could have won the 3 before that, the 2 against Hamilton and Toronto. Mark Crandall's playing good football, and their secondary has improved dramatically. Each of the last 2 weeks, they've given up less than 200 yards passing, and that was an area in which they were really struggling early on. That said, this BC Lions team, even though they're 6-9, I still think they're very dangerous, and I'll tell you why. They get Alfred Jackson back, and he really can make a difference. If Damon Allen will run some, you add AJ to that receiving core, suddenly you got a chance for some big plays, and they've got a defense that's playing very well. If the defense can create a turnover too, BC might just pull off a shocker.
We've been saying for weeks that the Lions have the talent, just when are they going to put it together and look like the defending Grey Cup champs that they are? Here are the numbers in the East and the West. Call up your favorite ball team locally and go out and see some live CFL action.
Time now for last week's Car Star Crunch of the Week.
Left side. We'll have a first down. I don't know. I give him a 10.5. Yeah. Jermaine Jones, a little submarine action on Michael Jenkins.
The Crunch of the Week is brought to you by Car Star Quality Collision Services. In a crunch, call 1-800-CAR-STAR nationwide.
How does the team's Jim Van Horn know so much about sports?
Another pizza delivery.
It's not delivery, it's Delisio.
Could have fooled me.
Delisio Rising Crust Pizza bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza.
Wait a minute. So you mean...
Yep, you'll never have to tip that delivery guy again.
Yes!
It's not delivery. It's Delisio from Kraft.
I'd like pepperoni.
Well, I'd like cheese.
Like delivery, Delisio Rising Crust Pizza now comes in half cheese, half pepperoni.
Maybe deluxe.
And half deluxe, half pepperoni. New Delisio half and half. It's not delivery. It's Delisio.
The halftime numbers brought to you by Dodge, Schultze.
Well, look at this. Only 3 first downs, only 2 turnovers right there. That's why it's 2-0, my God.
Nice squiggly there you did, by the way. Here's John Liu with pinball.
Well, Coach, you have the lead, but how concerned are you by your offense's inability to capitalize on its opportunities?
You know, that's the thing we talked about is last time both teams had 7 turnovers. We talked about not making turnovers on our part and still creating. And we've been creating them, but we haven't gotten points out of them. We've taken ourselves out of field goal range once, and we've missed 2 field goals, one from short range, one from long range. We have to correct that.
Coach, it's obviously such a desperate situation for your team fighting to keep playoff hopes alive. In your opinion, does it seem that the guys are hungry enough tonight?
Well, the defense is flying around. I think they are playing great football. The offense is doing some good things. We have to finish, and that's no doubt about that.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
It's 2-0. Leafs over the Jets. I don't know what this guy is doing. I have no idea. You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Football.
That sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Sure. I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Hey.
Experience the true intensity of color.
Herbal Essences hair color, made with pure color extracts that saturate your hair for intense, long-lasting color. Herbal Essences hair color. Experience the intensity.
Now, Herbal Essences and TSN want you to experience true intensity football. Grey Cup 2001. Enter the intense Grey Cup contest. You and a friend could be off to Montreal. Hit tsn.ca/intense. Herbal Essences. Experience the intensity. SportCheck.ca is here to serve. Shop online for the best brands in clothing, footwear, and equipment, including Nike, Adidas, and Oakley. Visit SportCheck.ca or the store nearest you. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Hello, friends. How are you? James Duffy back in the TSN newsroom. Some more hockey to tell you about. The Canadians, losers of 3 in a row, taking on the Buffalo Sabres, coming off back-to-back victories. Let us take you there and bring you up to date. 1-0 Buffalo in the second. Brian Savage will equalize things as he picks up the loose puck. Unassisted goal, 3rd of the season. It is now a 2-2 hockey game. Panthers hosting the Kings. First period, all Florida. Jason Weimer will convert on the centering pass on the power play. 2 points in the period for Weimer. 3-0 Florida, now 3-1. We have the Stars in Detroit. First period, 1-0 Dallas. Jamie Langenbrunner will give the Stars a 2-goal lead. His first of the season. It is now a 3-1 Dallas advantage. A couple other games to tell you about. Capitals and Thrashers. They are scoreless in the second. And the Hurricanes lead the Islanders 2-1 in the second. The Raptors trading Brian Skinner in a 3-team deal just to make room for rookie Carlos Arroyo. Third quarter is coming right up right here on TSN.
Halftime at Skydome, Kahari Jones doesn't look like he's going to start the second half, but let's check in with Dave Ritchie. He's with John Litt.
Well, Coach, with the offense stalling, will we see Kahari Jones in the second half?
Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Depends. I'll make that decision as the game goes on.
how important is it to keep the streak alive, Coach, which Kahari could be most effective in lending his talents to?
You must be watching the wrong game. Our offense hasn't moved the ball the length of the 10 yards yet. Until they start to play football, and who cares about a streak? I'd rather have them play football.
Okay, well, best of luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
Doesn't sound like a coach who's won 12 in a row, does he?
we are watching the same game, unfortunately, Dave, and we'd like to see a little more offense, as I'm sure he would. And he looks like he's going to go with the backups. You saw Kahari Jones with the hat on.
75 net yards for the Bombers, no matter what quarterback was in there. So it's about 37.5 yards each. You really look at
yeah, Kahari never really moved.
No, he didn't.
When he was
didn't move it either. But I mean, the question really was a pooch kick here, taken by Brad Elberg, and he'll have the Argos in decent field position near the 40.
And the other sideline, Mike Clemens, I'm sure, said at halftime that we've just got to capitalize on opportunities in the scoring zone. We get in their half of the field, got to make our field goals, got to try and put that ball in the end zone, come up with some majors. 4 opportunities missed, just 2 points on the board for the Argos in the first half.
And the other question is what quarterback will do most of the work here in the second half. Kerwin Bell will start for the Argonauts. And Toronto did not move the ball all that effectively either. Just over 100 yards total offense for the Argos in the first half. A couple of missed field goals and a missed catch in the end zone. Michael Jenkins has run well for Toronto all night, but that's not a huge story in one way. Doug Brown in on the tackle there.
Yeah, and they got to stick with Michael Jenkins, no question. Not panic at this point. They look at those missed opportunities because Jenkins is doing his thing, 63 yards. So John Jenkins got to stick with him, along with Mike Clemens. Get yourself in second and medium, second and 4 or 5 yards, and then give Kerwin Bell a chance.
Andre Kerwin to the near side. Ted Alford flanks to the far side of the field for 2nd and 5, Toronto. Jenkins again. And he'll be very close to first down. In fact, he should have it.
See, this is what second and medium does for you, John. If you're in 2nd and 5 or 6, now you have the option to run the ball on 2nd down. And really now you're dictating the play to the defense rather than the opposite. The defense dictating what's going to happen to you. So this is where the chess match begins. But the key for it, for Gene Gaines, it's success on first down, as it is for John Jenkins offensively. If he can get 4 or 5, 6 yards on first down, he wins the battle. If Gene Gaines can hold him to 2nd and 10, like they will have right now the defense dictates the play.
Yeah, another drop. Ted Alford had it and couldn't hang on. Coverage was decently tight, but a catchable football.
Absolutely catchable football. Second one that Kerwin Bell has put right in there, and you think back to that end zone toss to Tyrone Brown that was dropped. That one, first down territory, dropped by Ted Alford. And whether you like it or not, those go down as incompletions on the quarterback stats.
So 2nd and 10, and the options are limited. A little shovel pass, and it's bobbled, and Juan Roque ended up with it. It wasn't a play, folks.
No, yeah, this is not
a shovel pass and missed.
Certainly not a designed play. Yeah, I think it was Earl Scott,
yeah,
the center.
58.
The center right here is going to end up with the football. Definitely not a designed play, though, folks. I mean, this one is the shovel pass to Michael Jenkins off his hands. Back over there to Earl Scott with the one-hander. Sweet, look at the high knees chugging along. Okay, we'll just leave him at center for now.
Yeah. He gained a yard.
I'd like to see his speed in the open field.
If he had a little more room. Prefontaine angles it away from Arlen Bruce, the third. Couldn't make a play on it, so he steps out at the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 Winnipeg from there. With the Argos on top, 2-0. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the innovative VillaShave Quadra Action Shaver, featuring an improved contour following system and patented lift and cut technology for convenience, closeness, and comfort. Or a 20 CD prize pack from CD Plus and AVE Entertainment, featuring One Love, the very best of Bob Marley and the Wailers, and the double CD compilation Music of the Millennium. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
TD Canada Trust, we have a lot of different ways to say customer. Banking can be this comfortable. TD Canada Trust.
Jose Davis will get an opportunity to run the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. Brian Ayet will watch from the sidelines along with Kahari Jones. Jose Davis does not have a lot of CFL experience. Eric Blunt.
No, Johnny doesn't, but when you look at it, last year he dressed for all 18 games as the third quarterback, played in 2 of them. September 9th against these Argonauts, and September 23rd against Hamilton, was 7 of 17 for 75 yards in those 2 games with limited action. Now, the 2 quarterbacks for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tonight have thrown for a combined 36 yards in over a half of football, 18 apiece between Kahari Jones and Brian Ayet. So why not throw in Jose Davis?
2nd and 8. Davis, first pass, no one home. Bouncing out near the 55.
Now that's when you look at the numbers and you say to Dave Ritchie, Dave Ritchie's thinking, why not give the kid a chance to see if he can win a game or put some offense together? But having said that, to get Brian Ayet some reps is important in the just-in-case category. Just in case Kahari Jones in that Eastern final is injured early in that game and they have to go to Brian Ayet.
Yeah. And with everything locked up, I mean, try and get as much experience for him, quarterbacks, and anyone else you can slide into the lineup. Adrian Smith returning for the Argos. Not bad. He's across out of the Winnipeg side of the field at about the 52 after a 13-yard return. Let's see what the Argonauts can do with 1st and 10 when we return.
To the smell of waffles.
I know, and at only $13.99.99. I mean, that is less than $1 per waffle, Bill. So call now.
Oh, you better, because these waffle makers are really going to sell like hotcakes. And when I say hotcakes, I mean waffles.
Oh, you kidder.
Just because you're not always smart with your money doesn't mean you can't be mostly smart with your money. Introducing new MSN Money, a Canadian financial site to invest, bank, and plan. To be smarter with your money. Just visit msn.ca.
There are places that charge higher prices than we do, and there is a market for that. But if you ask me, our attention to detail creates a suit that's hard to beat. Not only in quality, but because we eliminate the middleman, also in price. And as you have let us know, there is an even bigger market for that.
Year in and year out, no one sells more suits in Canada than Moores. Well made, well priced, well dressed. Moores.
All across the country, people have places to go, things to do. So they go Midas for total car care. Need an alignment? We do that. Air conditioning? We do that. Brakes? We do that. Oil changes? We do that. Batteries too. Of course, mufflers. And we do all that with our certified technicians and our nationwide guarantee. So for total car care, who does it all? Midas. We do that.
World Series begins tomorrow. The Yankees at Arizona. First pitch, well, maybe around 7:30. Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow on TSN.
Best of 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best of 7. The Yankees are on a nice little World Series roll, without question. For the last 5, 3 in a row.
That's a hat trick. The Argonauts might have a hat trick tonight.
You're talking points, though.
Yeah.
Flags are down. Kerwin Bell far side. Catch is made, but there's not much yardage available for Andre Kerwin.
We talked about the balancing act for Dave Ritchie and whether or not to play Kahari Jones and that streak, the record that he has going. You take a look at some of the best records in the 80s or since 1980 in Canadian football. But the big question is, what did they do with the record? The Edmonton Eskimos won the Grey Cup. Edmonton here, 89, nope, didn't win that one. Calgary in all 3 years, no Grey Cups. 2 there for the Argos, and of course, Baltimore won in 95. So 50% of the time, when you have put together a record like that, you go on and win it. And that's the balancing act that Dave Ritchie is going through right now.
Well, and of course, those teams did not win 12 in a row. The teams we just looked at that finished with the great record, which the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have done this season and look to make it 13 straight here tonight. Bell has a target. It's the newcomer Russell Copeland. Copeland out of the University of Memphis, played a little bit with the Bills. Jim Kelly has recently been in the Arena League and actually hasn't played a great deal of football in the last 2 seasons.
Just the number 5 right here on the under route. He's got a post over the top from the outside, and Kerwin Bell elects to throw underneath. Really is all he has, and then the Winnipeg defenders will just rally and hold him well short of the first down. And again, you wonder when Jimmy Kemp may come in that football game.
Watch the face.
Noel Prefontaine standing just inside the Argonaut 50 at the 49. Too deep for the Bombers. Prefontaine has been angling for the sidelines. Bruce the third. Stutter step didn't work, and neither did the little spin move. 4 on the return, 41 on the punt, and still only 2 points on the scoreboard.
Play $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway. If your name appears, you've won an all-inclusive trip for 2 to the Club Marival Resort in Nueva Vallarta, Mexico. Fly Air Transat for a 7-night stay, courtesy of Sears Travel Service and Air Transat Holidays. Shop at Safeway today.
The best thing about the Coors Light Silver Sweet Football Party is you don't have to play football to get in. See details at a participating bar near you. No purchase necessary. Must be legal drinking age. Are you ready for some football?
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card and receive a bonus entry when you purchase Heinz canned beans and pastas, Kraft salad dressings, or Tropicana Tropics juices. Play $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway today.
It really has been an incredible year for the Bombers. A year ago, they were fighting for the playoffs. Now they're unbeaten in 12. After the game, tonight's TSN Turning Point brought to you by Super 8 Motel.
I can't stay here another minute.
Not what you need to hear? Then Super 8's where you need to stay. As clean as can be 1,900 times over. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Wendy's CFL Live from Taylor Field in Regina, the Eskimos and the Rough Riders. 3:30, Matt Dunnigan will be there with Rod Smith for all the action.
Nice weekend of football. 3 games for you.
We're on to McMahon for Sunday afternoon, and the Lions against the Stampeders.
Oh, watch out!
Adrian Smith almost had 6. Rookie quarterbacks are in there. Ayette has tossed a couple, and this is Jose Davis.
When you look at the statistics tomorrow, you won't see this, but Robert Gordon had the best defensive play of the game because he really took the ball out of Adrian Smith's hands. With Robert Gordon, a little hitch pass. Adrian Smith's coming. He's got touchdown. See Gordon just reach in there, knock that ball away.
So it'll be 2nd and 10, Blue Bombers at the Argonaut 10. Far side, Jamie Stoddard makes the catch and turns it into a Blue Bomber first down. Pretty nice pass from Jose Davis.
Johnny, and you think that these Winnipeg quarterbacks should look to Jamie Stoddard a little more often, because he was their best receiver versus Toronto in 2 games, combined for 7 and 188 yards and 1 touchdown in 2 games versus Toronto. That was top for Winnipeg receivers, and a pretty good throw by Jose Davis to the outside to Jamie Stoddard.
13-yard gain has the Bombers up at about the 22. Make it the 23-yard line. Early movements, no flags. Arland Bruce slanting in and making the catch. Tiggle was there to help with the tackle along with Rio Wells.
See, and it was Jamie Stoddard who opened things up there for Arland Bruce III. Look what he does against the Toronto Argonauts, or what he's done this year. 26.8. A couple big plays from Jamie Stoddard in 2 games versus the Argos, and you got him out of a hole right now with 1 catch on the sideline.
Jose Davis with 24 passing yards is the leader among Blue Bomber quarterbacks tonight.
There you go.
Eric Blunt on first down. We'll see where they spot this one. Looks like a gain of 3, maybe 3.5.
No one wants to jump up and take this football game. They really just going back and forth a little bit, punting the ball back and forth, and no one really wants to take control. And you get the feeling that it may be that big play on defense that is the difference tonight. An interception for a touchdown, fumble recovered for a touchdown.
On second down, Jose Davis to his right, looking deep, has Gordon. Gordon makes the catch. Did he stay in? No. Made the catch, couldn't stay inside the line.
Johnny made a great move to get that football. Alonda Steinauer was in chase, and he really did a nice move to get his hands on the ball, but he just couldn't keep his feet in bounds. You see right down the sideline. See 21 trying to catch up. Now watch the move that Robert Gordon makes to adjust to the football in the air, go up and grab it, and pull it down. That's just to get his hands on, but watch his feet now. His feet come down both on the white stripe, and a good call by the official right along that sideline. What an athletic move for Robert Gordon, though, just to catch it. That's why they call him gorgeous.
Nice little pirouette in the air to make the catch. Flags are already down.
Yeah, see, they heard me. Tyrone Brown.
Not a great night for Ty Brown, is it?
Well, the flags were already on the field. I think they heard us say that you might as well just throw them, because there is on pretty much every kick. Tyrone Brown mishandled that football. Depending on what happens with these flags, lost about 20 yards of field position. I don't think Tyrone Brown got the wake-up call this morning.
He might.
I don't think he got it.
Through it anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think he got it.
Hit the snooze.
Yeah, I've done that a time or two. Reach over and hit the snooze, and then forget to get the second wake-up call. That's the key.
Well, the discussion continues down at stake. The Argos trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. And the outcome of this game really doesn't affect it, but it keeps the chance of making the playoffs and the crossover to the West in Toronto's hands. The Blue Bombers trying to keep the streak alive.
See the reaction there by Kavis Reed. This doesn't look good for the Argos as they sort out these penalties. Kavis Reed helping with the defense, special teams for the Argonauts. Great corner for years for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, the discussion is continuing down there.
Oh, here we go.
It's being marched back.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 12. Too many men. Toronto will re-kick.
Oh, there you go. So that's why there were 2 flags.
Okay, so we'll kick it over. So that play did not count, and for Tyrone Brown, yeah, for Tyrone Brown, he'd like to forget it as well. Now he's counting, make sure that there is 12 players on the field. Okay, 12, and he counted himself. Kavis Reed, you know, mistakes like that, not acceptable at this point in the season. That's why he was so upset.
Well, with so much on the line.
And there hasn't been injuries for the Argos in this game that could cause the problem when you look at the special teams.
Not that they've been dealing with this evening anyway. Well, they've done it again. Dropped the flags before the ball was kicked.
Time count violation. Winnipeg, number 6. Repeat, third down.
So Bob Cameron obviously must have seen something in the alignment.
Yeah,
that
that's
he
exactly what it was.
He couldn't.
No question. Bob Cameron saw a mistake in alignment from his protection and waited till straighten that out. 5 yards wasn't going to hurt him.
Good kick. Brown has it. Spins. Can redeem himself here. Brown down the sidelines. Cameron in his way, and actually Cameron got there to help bring him down, along with Dave Donaldson.
Okay, you got the second wake-up call.
There you go. Taking off snooze, and Tyrone Brown has a 40-yard return easily. The most thrilling play of the night.
Well, it was the spin move that makes it happen right in the hole, right there. As he puts the brakes on, spins out of there. We've seen all kinds of hockey. That was the spinorama.
You're right.
In hockey.
Look at Cameron bulldog him to the ground after the 40-yard return.
Step up in the holes, put the brakes on Andre Arlane and get to the outside, and then some speed down the sideline for Tyrone Brown, who makes up for what has been a tough night so far for number 83. What a move, though, right in the hole.
The spinorama for Tyrone Brown. Dropped a touchdown pass earlier. Might have turned this thing around for the Argonauts. Now here's Mike Jenkins. He's been the story so far this evening, and Jenkins has better than 5. Down to the Winnipeg 30.
Well, now it's important for the Argos to capitalize on some momentum. There's really been no momentum in this game for either team. It's just sort of been a stale performance by both teams, especially offensively. But now Mike Clemens has a chance with his team to grab some momentum from Tyrone Brown's run, put 7 on the board.
2nd and 4. Jenkins won't have the first down.
They're tough to run on, aren't they?
They really are. Toughest defense in the league against the run. Jenkins with 14 carries, 78 yards.
Well, you remember, Mike Clemens gambled in the first half with the quarterback sneak about a foot to go from Kerwin Bell. Now, I thought he got a bad spot in that one, but he didn't get the first down. And
this is a yard and a bit.
Yep.
And it was 3rd and a foot that they missed on.
And now they're going to look to Jimmy Kemp to possibly run what they usually do in this situation if they're going to gamble, is run an option play with Kemp. In other words, Kemp comes along the line of scrimmage. He can give the ball to Michael Jenkins. He can take it out, run it, or he can go out, run, and throw it. 3 options on the play, and they've done it before in this situation. But it's awfully tough for Jimmy Kemp. It puts a tremendous amount of pressure on him considering he's not played all game.
Well, he's been watching everything from the bench.
So now we just, you're going to watch the whole game from the bench, and all we need you to do is execute the most important play of the ball game thus far.
Well, Giancola has now marched out onto the field, and Kemp is the holder for field goals.
Well, yeah.
Giancola has missed his first 2 tonight.
Now they got
21.
They got Giancola out there, but I'll tell you something. That was a long discussion with Jimmy Kemp on the sideline. If all they were planning to do was kick the field goal in this case. And Jimmy Kemp, as the holder, obviously has the ability to get up, fake a field goal, and throw it. And now he's discussing things with Giancola without looking at the bench, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Doug Brown was the injured Blue Bomber. He's on the sidelines. Argos in the field goal formation. Kemp will put it down on the 36. Giancola smooth, and he has this one. So it's 5-0, and the shutout continues.
I think that was a sound decision to make from Mike Clemens. It really was. To come away with some points.
The way things have gone on this night,
Almost 2 yards for a first down.
Yeah.
That's a sound decision.
Michael Jenkins earlier set the Argo all-time single-season rushing record, going over 1247 and passing Gil Fennerty.
That got him close to the record. That didn't count because it was a pass. Here is the record run.
He only needed a yard, but he turned this in for about 13. They call him the best athletes on the Argonauts, most important player, and he's certainly proven that this year. Closing in on a 100-yard gain. Again, here's Eric Blunt, takes the pitch. Flags come down as Blunt turns the corner.
Wade Miller's going to get a holding call on this play, and Michael Jenkins watches on.
The milestone just passed, and Jenkins now has 13:23.
And a game and a quarter to add to those numbers and see if he can't.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 34. Repeat first down.
Make it tough for any running back in the future to beat Michael Jenkins.
Wade Miller was caught for holding.
Holding call on Wade Miller. Armando Steinauer had shot up there and tried to make the tackle on the option, and Wade Miller was called a holding call to put the Bombers in a big hole here.
First and 20, Bombers at the 25. Harlan Bruce made the catch.
Steinauer says no. Armando Steinauer is in there arguing, and they're just going to discuss this one down with the officials to make sure they get this call right. Just an in pattern from Arlan Bruce III. He's going to come down, and in the middle, Wayne Shaw is going to drop him off because it's zone defense. Now watch this. Did he catch the football? I thought that one hopped up into him, and that's what Armando Steinauer is complaining about. And he was complaining immediately to the officials.
Well, the officials are standing in that area.
They're saying no catch now.
Saying
they overruled it. They overruled it.
But they were standing right there, and there was a discussion, so...
Well, one of the
officials ruled it a catch.
That's right. And then I think what they did is, after Armando Steinauer came in and was arguing, then the officials all got together and they had a vote. They said, okay, how many people saw this one? And you can see it bounce up into...
Oh, Glenn, that's awfully close.
You can see it bounce.
Are his hands on the turf?
That bounced awful quickly. I don't...
Well, Dave Ritchie, for one, hates the call. And it was awfully close.
The rule they made this year.
Well, they discussed it, and obviously the vote went in favor of the Argonauts.
Second and 20 for the rookie. Jose Davis barely got it away. Marcelo Simmons has played well for the Argonauts tonight, and he put the pressure on.
You know who's been quiet for the Argonauts tonight? It's been Alfred Payton. If the Argonauts have got pressure on the quarterback, it's from blitzing linebackers or secondary personnel, and that was from the secondary with Marcelo Simmons. And Alfred Payton's been awful quiet. Full credit to Dave Munch, playing out there on the tackle, pretty much one-on-one on Alfred Payton all night long.
The kick. Stepping across the 15 to lift a high punt down to Adrian Smith. He's at the 40, and a 3-yard return at best, wrapped up by Antonio Armstrong. 47-yard punt by Bob Cameron. And into the final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Sports Center will follow us with Dutchie and Duthie.
D squared.
D squared.
The double D. Dutch and Duthie, D squared. And if you've ever met Duthie, he's as square as they come.
He's from Ottawa, I think. Of course, Dutchie's from Porcupine Plain, Saskatchewan. Porcupine Plain does not.
No, not yet. We're looking to expand, though. It'll take a while to get to Porcupine Plain, I'm sure. But
yeah, even you as the commissioner can't get us to Porcupine Plain.
No, I don't think so. Well, with that last Dan Giancola field goal, they more than doubled their points output for the evening, the Toronto Argonauts. And, you know, this time we're still seeing Kerwin Bell in the football game. Now, he has had some drops.
He has a 5-point lead. The Argos have blown this thing wide open.
Well, what's interesting, John, is that this is what happened last week. Kerwin Bell did not put up very impressive numbers.
But he had the lead.
But he had the lead when he got the hook in the third quarter. And that was what he was so upset with. That, okay, it wasn't spectacular, but he did have the lead in the football game like he does now. So really, he's in that same situation. And this time, Mike Clemens is elected so far to stick with Kerwin Bell.
Well, he doesn't want to get the reputation of the other Mike. As in Mike Keenan with bringing the hook too early, you see.
We're just going to stick with hockey all night, aren't we?
Well, it feels like hockey outside, and the scoreboard looks like it as well. No Prefontaine, couple of good kicks. Couple of tackles on special teams as well. Marcus Howell steps out of bounds after about 4 on the return. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football from Toronto, and there's your score.
Go Green Go! Be loud and proud and show your Rider pride with a ticket on the Friends of the Riders Touchdown Lottery. 926 prizes valued at over $826,000. One major prize for every 17 tickets sold, including the $100,000 grand prize, the $100,000 grand prize, 10 GM vehicles, 29 trips, and more prizes than ever. Be loud and proud. Be loud and proud. Call 1-800-668-1999. License L010158.
First down, Jose Davis at the controls for Winnipeg. On the money for Wade Miller. Miller's second catch of the night. He got an early reception from the starting quarterback, Kahari Jones. If you're tuning in late, Kahari Jones is not injured. He's on the sidelines watching because the Bombers have little left to prove. They have first place locked up in the Eastern Division.
A little bit behind their average in the points department.
Yeah, 30 points a game on average. 2nd and 5. Shotgun for Davis.
Oh, he underthrew him.
And he had Arland Bruce the third.
He had got in behind. Wayne Shaw was wide open, and the ball is underthrown. That's a mistake that hasn't happened very often in the secondary for either team tonight. As you see, Shaw goes on the pump fake, jumps out of his coverage, and Arland Bruce in behind him wide open. And all that Jose Davis has to do is get some air on that football, get it up there, and he's got himself a touchdown throw.
2 and out again for the Bombers. Bob Cameron from the class of '76 at Acadia. Another nice kick. Tyrone Brown had a nice return the last time. Not so, at least in the yardage department here for Brown.
See Dave Donaldson on that cover team. He just got down there and was the first Winnipeg tackler to show up at Tyrone Brown. He also had Contain, and just such a valuable player to have on your roster. Dave Donaldson, you know what he's like? He's like the bass player in a band. Like, you have your band, you have your lead guitarist, he gets his solos.
And the bass guy's going boom, boom, boom.
He gets it, yeah, and then you got the drummer in back there. He gets his solos. Of course, the singer's the star, right? Drummer gets, but the bass player is just the quiet guy in the back. But without him, you don't have a band. No. That's what Dave Donaldson's
player in a band.
He's the bass player in the band.
Kerwin Bell goes deep. He's got him. Kerwin Bell. Nigel Williams, huge catch for the Argos on the final play of the third quarter. And Bell ended up on the seat of his pants. But Nigel Williams has the biggest reception of the night. Bell to Williams. Argonauts in scoring territory again.
Wendy's Friday Night Football at the quarter.
Well, there's a football play.
Hey,
I wrote something down there. You know,
I'm not sure he caught it.
Well, there were no flags and no replays, so we're taking it.
It was close.
As you guys know, TSN recently launched a digital channel called ESPN Classic Canada, where they run, classic games. I doubt you'll be seeing this one in the near future on ESPN Classic Canada. It has been a tough one to watch.
It really has. I mean, the reps that the punters have been getting in terms of mastering their technique have been very good. Both Bob Cameron and Neil Profontaine have done a great job. But folks, this is the 17th week of the season. You see a drop pass right there. Now, this play is probably run 100 times, and it's not executed very well there. Nice job by the center, though, picking it up. And then here we have a holding penalty on our right-hand side, and we have too many men on the field on our left-hand side. It's offsetting. I guess that's a good thing. And there's John Jenkins. He wants to go home right about now. And then here's another one in a drop pass. It really is something to watch in the sense that you have 20 plays probably in the quarter, and when you have 5 of them that are taken away either by penalties or poor execution, I can't figure it out. Toronto is not playing with urgency. Winnipeg not much better. I don't know which quarterback is going to grade out better, but I tell you what, if Kahari Jones goes down, Winnipeg's in trouble.
Well, I agree, Schultz. But in fairness to these two young guys, they clearly are not playing with a full deck. As we talked about, the left side of the offensive line is out. No Milt Stegall, no Charles Roberts. But no question, this is a very different team when Kahari Jones is in there. And I guarantee you, there's some people in British Columbia right now that are praying Dave Ritchie's going to put Kahari Jones back in there, because if Toronto wins this game, they're up 3 points on the BC Lions in that crossover. Yeah. So, Dave, your friends in British Columbia, they want to see Kahari.
Very quickly, Dave Ritchie, will he put Kahari back in there? What do you think?
Being the competitor that he is, I would not be surprised at all. I really think he might. The guy wants to win.
Well, let's see what happens. Here's the fourth quarter, the conclusion to this thriller.
Well, the gain would have been 40-plus yards.
They're ruling it
not a catch.
They're ruling it no catch. They say that Nigel Williams didn't have control of the football. When you look at it, it looks like from this angle that he may have it in his hands and has frozen the ball right there, but he's losing it there, and the officials felt that he didn't have complete control, and then when he hit the ground, it popped out.
Now, the ground could not make you fumble, but the ruling there would be he didn't have control of the ball.
So there was no catch before the fumble, right?
There you go. 2nd and 10. Argonauts, Kerwin Bell goes right back to the same receiver, and the coverage was too tight from Byron Capers. But he wasn't close to connecting with Williams there.
Well, that Bomber secondary has thrown a quilt, an entire quilt, over the receiving corps for the Toronto Argonauts. And there's a couple of players on this.
2 and outs.
A couple of people in this coaching staff. Gene Gaines, one of them. Les Brown, another, that know a thing or two about playing in the defensive backfield. Yeah.
Just tapped you on the shoulder.
Yes.
Well, say to you, this is the 21st punt of the evening. Not deep for Noel Prefontaine. Marcus Howell looks to get outside, and he won't. Run down by Donovan Carter. 1 on the return, 48 on the punt. 1st and 10 when we return.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the VTech Helio, VTech's new handheld PDA, in cool metallic and translucent colors, with 8 megabytes of memory, voice memo recorder, scheduler, email, and more. Or the best of Fuller tool set, from Canadian-made screwdrivers to sockets. Fuller has the tools to do the job right every time. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Canadians have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas. We do that.
スプルトラダメです本当にいいからやれ本当に勘弁してください俺だっていいんだ本当にもうダメです本当に別の機会にしましょう
Nej tack, så långt du kan bara. Nej. Men du, kom igen. Nej.
Nein, lass es.
Warum denn? Die
Lass Leute es. gucken doch Nein. sowieso nicht. Möchte
Da
ich
kannst du auch einmal dran ziehen.
Nein.
Look, mate, I'm not gonna pull your finger.
子供みたいなのおめえは。 本当にダメです。
151 countries, one ride, Canadian Club.
Back live at Skydome for the news and notes of Week 16. We have Eric Tillman as the Vice President, General Manager of the Ottawa franchise. That's not a bad name. Just call it the Ottawa franchise.
Well, what's the name they really like right now? It's the
River Rats.
No, I don't think that was it.
Hank Lissick signs with the Eskimos. He's 42 if he's a day, but he'll kick this weekend.
The Renegades.
Renegades.
Yeah.
This is Brian Hayat at the controls. And that's Troy Mills on the receiving end of that reception, of that toss, I should say.
John, I thought you made a good point when you say that, you know, people that have criticized the CFL in the past have always said, like, how could you have 8 or 9 teams in the league and have 2 of them with the same name? It's just ridiculous. And
now you go back the other way and say, why can't we have the Rough Rider?
Why can't we have the Rough Rider name back?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's the CFL, and the critics out there are an interesting bunch, but I'm sure that the same people who are saying 2 teams named the Riders, that's Bush League, are saying, why can't we have the traditional Rough Riders back?
Yeah, the old name back.
2nd and 5. Hayat can't get it away.
Certainly a different team without their starting quarterback. That goes without saying pretty much for any team. But this is valuable reps for backup quarterbacks. And even if they're not having success, they're in there when the bullets are flying for real. And the speed of the game between practice and game time is turned up a bunch.
Roger Dunbrack getting through to Hayat that time. Talks it over with the assistant coach.
It can look like a blur when you get into a game in front of you.
Adrian Smith. Donaldson is there.
Dave Donaldson again.
Along with Antonio Armstrong. -3 on the return. Looks like a no yards penalty. Timeout at Skydome.
Forget that SportsCenter comes your way. It's James Duthie in the TSN Newsroom. Always works a little bit better with the microphone on. SportsCenter comes your way after the football game is what we were trying to say. We have some hockey for you before that, and we will show it to you with full audio, which always enhances the television viewing enjoyment. 2-all in the third. Habs and Sabres. Brian Savage. 2 goals already. That's the hat trick. 7th career trick. 3-2 Habs. Stars in Detroit. Dallas trying to end the Wings' 6-game winning streak. Sergei Zubov on the power play. He will have his 2nd of the season. 3-1 Stars leading in that one. We have more. Islanders in Carolina. The NHL league leader in goals is not Pavel Bure or Peter Bondra. It's Mark Parrish, his 10th of the year. 2-2 would be the final in that one. Other stuff for you tonight. Thrashers lead the Capitals 1-0 in the third, and it's the Kings and Panthers. Panthers leading that one 3-2 also in the third.
SportCheck.ca is here to serve. Shop online for the best brands in clothing, footwear, and equipment, including Nike, Adidas, and Oakley. Visit SportCheck.ca or the store nearest you. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods. Time for the TSN Playbook Trivia question. What Argo defensive lineman recorded 5 QB sacks in a 1988 game against Edmonton? Rodney Harding, James Curry, or Gerald Bayless? Stay tuned to this program for the correct answer and play.
Well, Kerwin Bell has taken it on the chin a time or two.
Yeah, he's playing against the #1 defense in Canadian football, and you can always tell when you play against the #1 defense the day after the game. And you can judge it by the amount of ice bags you need.
Couple of sacks by Wayne Weathers, number 99 in the sequence.
If you're in the double figures in ice bags, then you know you played against a good defense. He may have more ice bags than he does points before this one is over.
1st and 10 for the Argos with a 5-0 lead in the Blue Bombers. There it is, out near midfield. Tyrone Brown makes a huge catch.
All right, he's starting to make up for it. After that punt return he had in the third quarter. Now that's another big play for Tyrone Brown, because that's a tough catch to make with Marvin Coleman hanging on your back.
28-yard gain out at midfield, first down, Toronto.
You know, and John Jenkins is now hoping that that opens things up underneath if you can get one deep. So his defensive backs backing up a little bit.
That was the longest play from Squeeze by either team. They turn it right back. Bowden down the sidelines. Bell is the only man who can get there. And there are the Bombers into the end zone again.
I think they're saying he stepped out of bounds at around 37.
They've got it marked at the 37. Still, the pick.
I want to go back about 3-4 series, John. We said it'll probably be an interception or a play like that that is the difference in this football game, the way the offenses are playing. It's the ball that Kerwin Bell tries to go underneath to Nigel Williams. The ball's thrown a little bit late, and Jerome Bolden. Now, where does he step out of bounds? Right there. That left leg just on the tape, because look at the picket fence. He had an escort to the end zone.
He didn't have to step out of bounds.
He sure did.
He had lots of room on the sideline. And he just slides over and out.
Oh, barely.
But I mean,
there was an official right there, but barely. And there was some argument, and I believe the Bombers got a penalty for arguing at the end of it all.
Well, it hasn't been a night for this Blue Bomber offense. 14 possessions. They have punted 12 times and had 2 interceptions.
And Jerome Bolden now leads the Canadian Football League so far in interceptions.
It's 6.
Good job. Good time, don't
You talk about
Bruce the third here.
Talk about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers nominee for outstanding defensive player. That's him, Jerome Bolden. And they've had a bunch. I think Doug Brown in the middle. He'll likely be their candidate for outstanding Canadian. You could pick a bunch from this defense this year, but Jerome Bolden certainly would be at the top of the list.
Eric Watts will have a Winnipeg first down inside the Argonaut 25. The Argos are watching this slip away.
4 missed opportunities in the first half for the Argos. They really haven't done anything offensively in the second half, and now with the Bolden interception, a couple of plays back-to-back offensively for Winnipeg, and you know they're in striking range from taking the lead in this game.
Last time the Bombers were shut out, it was 39-0 Calgary. September 4th, 67. Well, that shutout is about to end. However, a marker comes down after the carry by Troy Mills.
There's another flag on the field. There was a bit of a fight going on downfield. I believe it was Kelvin Kinney involved in that. Brett McNeil was close by.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 67, after the play, second down.
Mike Abametric was the guy who got called. That takes some momentum away in a hurry.
Well, yeah, they're still in field goal range for Westwood here, but it's second down and 20 to go.
Right in there. Number 67. And there's a two-hander to the chest.
At the controls for Winnipeg. No one home. Flags down, however, on the coverage by Shaw on Andre Arland Bruce, I should say.
Talk about a quilt. You can make a quilt with the flags that have been thrown in this game. I guarantee you that.
Anyway, that's the area that the flag went down. Whether it was the right call, you be the judge here.
Wayne Shaw on the outside position, breaks on the ball underneath. Does he get contact early?
Number 9, first down.
It's tough to see the ball, but it looked like he did hit him early. And that'll move the football right up to the 10-yard line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Are you sitting down?
Why?
I feel a touchdown coming, and it's only the fourth quarter.
I hint a sense of a little bit of sarcasm in your voice.
First and goal to go, Bombers at the 10. Ayat looks to the corner. No catch. Bruce was the intended target. Wayne Shaw was covering on Arland Bruce III.
Well, they're in a battle. There's no question. They're just going to go down the sideline, little fade pattern, watch number 9 work on number 4. Wayne Shaw and Arland Bruce hand fighting all the way down the field, which I believe is legal. Little push, little pull. Both players fighting for position and fighting for that football, and I think that should never be called. And it wasn't in that case.
So it's second and goal to go. Bombers at the Argonaut 10. Well, just inside the 10. Does he get the touchdown? Yes. Arland Bruce III makes the catch. I told you I felt a touchdown coming.
Well, that's the kind of throw from Brian Ayat that'll give him a little confidence and some experience. He really had to be patient, wait for Arland Bruce to come over. In the end, there's a crossing pattern going on to the right from the 2 slot backs, and from the outside, Arland Bruce came all the way into the middle of the field. He had to take a step back towards that goal line to come up with the football. And makes a nice catch for his quarterback. All of a sudden, the Bombers have the lead in this game.
It's 6-5. Outside of kickoffs, this is Westwood's first appearance, is it not? Brian Ayat, the touchdown toss to Arland Bruce. And the Bombers have the lead, 7-5 on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Mommy's home.
The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a gal.
Butters for all my friends.
Real big spender.
It's amazing what you can do with Canadian Tire money. And you'll earn 20% more when you use your Canadian Tire credit card in store.
They were on sale.
Stand with me, baby, because I need you.
There's more to crispy flavor in our bite-sized taters.
It's time you tried McCain Tasty Taters. Baked so they're crispy and golden brown on the outside to capture all that tender potato flavor inside.
Crispy bite-sized taters that lock in all the flavor.
Mealtime, snack time, anytime. McCain Tasty Taters now come in 5 crispy bite-sized flavors.
Try your favorite flavor in our bite-sized taters.
McCain Tasty Taters. Crispy flavor in a bite-sized tater.
To show you how a play, remember the first play where Arland Bruce went down the sideline? Now watch when he comes off the line of scrimmage. That sets up Wayne Shaw. As he comes off the line of scrimmage this time, now he makes the inside moves. You see, if you hold it there, now you see he's got inside position and a whole lot of open area to run to because Wayne Shaw was protecting the outside because of the previous play. That's why Arland Bruce comes up with that touchdown.
And the interception by Bolden set it up. For the Blue Bombers, that could be it for Kerwin Bell for now. Brown has to retreat to the 5. May help with this return, and then again, it may not. Dropped at the 20.
Midwest represent, trying to do my thing.
Well, here's the UPS scoring drive, brought to you, of course, by UPS, moving at the speed of your business.
Well, 6 plays, 52 yards, but I think the most important play was the interception by Jerron Bolden, and this is a team that this year has taken advantage of turnovers in a big, big way. They've had, coming into this game, 47 turnovers that has turned into 150 points, tops in Canadian football, and the Argos are making a switch.
Well, it's up to Jimmy Kemp now, and that was the cheer from Argo fans here at the Sky Dome. Jimmy Kemp has had a way of igniting this team at times. He's stalled a couple of weeks ago, and here's Kemp on the option. To Michael Jenkins. He is mobile. And compared to Kerwin Bell, he's got rocket-like speed.
Yeah. Well, and they'll use that. And they'll take advantage of that. Move the pocket around a little bit. You know, with Jimmy Kemp, of course.
Kerwin Bell, good on 15 of 27 for 116 yards. The interception gave the Bombers their shot at the end zone and the first touchdown of the game.
A whole bunch of BC Lions on the edge of their seats right now. They're watching this one.
Jenkins will get the first down as he turns the corner. He's rolled out by Byron Capers.
Notice the Argos now with just over 7 minutes to go are starting to run to the outside. They really have had troubles running in the middle of that defense where Doug Brown and Benny Fort may hang out.
Season is on the line for the Argonauts. They won't be eliminated from the playoff race in the West with a loss tonight. However,
they need a bunch of help.
They need a lot of help. If they win tonight, they keep their hopes alive, and they can hope for a couple of BC losses, or at least one BC loss heading into the final weekend. Kemp at the controls. Oh! Catchable. Tyrone Brown had to reach high. But it was a decent call and not a bad throw.
No, and it was a catchable ball. And you could see Mike Clemens' reaction after the fact, and he is starting to lose patience with plays like this. With the game on the line, you know, your players have to come up with the big plays and the big catches. That was a tough one, but one he should have made.
Robert Gordon would have had it.
Well, Mookie, Daryl Mitchell definitely would have had, and probably still running.
Well, and that's what the Argos are fighting. They are losing, they are missing their best receiver for this one tonight. Kemp on 2nd and 10. Runner throw. Neither. Doug Brown was there.
Ted Alford was wide open at the wide side of the field, but because of the pressure from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it really forced Jimmy Kemp to run the opposite way. Ted Alford had run to Jimmy Kemp's left side. Now watch as he gets to the sideline. He fights through the traffic, and now he opens up, and he's waving. He's wide open there, but because of the Winnipeg pressure up front, Jimmy Kemp is flushed this way. And Ted Alford is on the opposite side of the field. You see how he's flushed over there? Now he can't throw it over there to Ted Alford.
Antonio Armstrong should get credit for that sack. 4th time tonight that an Argo quarterback has gone down. Marcus Howell's out. Howell is out to the 40-yard line.
You know, and there, sorry, John, there may be some fans now, the Argos, saying, why don't you gamble at that point? But there's still lots of time left on the clock, and that's definitely the right move to punt the football away.
Yeah, it's a 2-point ball game. Field goal wins it for you.
Lots of time left. You're gonna got a young quarterback in Brian Ayette,
who has tossed his first touchdown of the season,
but also has 2 picks.
Yeah. Bombers begin at the 40 after scoring in their last drive, set up by an interception. And this one was whistled down.
I don't know that
not a marker down that I see.
I don't know that they snapped the ball in time. There's some movement from the defensive line of the Toronto Argonauts, but it didn't look like illegal movement. It looked like Leroy Blue just sliding from the linebacking core up into the line of scrimmage, which is allowed by the rules. And I saw double zeros on the play clock. But they're saying...
Sure you weren't looking at the Bombers secondary?
Down on the bench?
Harold Nash, where's 0-0?
I could have been looking at the Bombers line score.
I didn't see the call.
0-0-0-7. No, well...
Winnipeg leading at 7-5. Ayette near side. Short of a first down unless they get a miracle spot. Andre Arlane made the catch on 2nd and 10. His first of the night. Game story. for sportcheck.ca. Go ahead.
Well, Mike Jenkins broke Gil Fenerty's record and is the Argos' all-time leading rusher, very close to 100 yards, which would also break a record. The Toronto Argonauts. Kari Jones just played a quarter. Ron Ayat has a touchdown pass.
Well, it's 2nd and 2 now, so that penalty is baffling to us. Well, we'll see if they are going to measure this one or not.
Well, I don't think they'll even have to. Now, I was right to the 50-yard line. That's a good yard, long yard short of first down territory. The Argonaut punt team or punt return team was on its way on the field.
So that previous play was whistled down. There was no infraction. Either way, it was in fact 1st and 10.
Or both ways. They just played the down again.
They just played the down again. Okay, well, there was no indication from the field, and the stadium clock said 1st and 10 here, so I was confused.
I thought Dave Ritchie right there, John, considered for a second gambling on this play and 3rd down and 1. But that would have been a huge gamble to try and do it there.
Cameron goes high to bring this one down. Adrian Smith will draw flags on the return. Timeout at Skydome, 4:40 to go.
It's the moment. The moment you write, direct, and star in your own movie. It's the moment you experience Microsoft's new Windows XP. Get it first at Future Shop October 25th and get 128 megs of free RAM and VirusScan 2002. Or choose from a large selection of preloaded Cicero and HP computers. Future Shop brings you more of the moments you live for. Future Shop. You'll like what the future has in store and online.
We're live at Skydome. Next week we'll be in Winnipeg for Wendy's Friday Night Football. Stampeders and Blue Bombers. Final game, regular season for both teams. Could mean a little something to Calgary, depending on the outcome tomorrow afternoon at McMahon. Jimmy Kemp with the controls for the Argonauts near side. Has Ted Alford. And we'll see where he gets the spot. He's very close to a first down. Looks like he got his forward progress down there.
You know, one thing that I've been a bit forgotten for both these teams is that offenses, when they struggle, often will go into hurry-up offense to try and get some rhythm to the game. And that's something that neither team has done in this game. And you can maybe give the Bombers a bit of an excuse because they have a young quarterback at the controls. But with Jimmy Kemp and Kerwin Bell, a little surprised that they maybe didn't try to throw in the hurry-up offense and no-huddle offense, try and get some pace to the game.
Bombers lead at 7-5, looking for their 13th straight win. This will help them get there. Little safety blitz from Dave Donaldson wraps up Jimmy Kemp. And that's the 5th sack of the night by the Blue Bombers.
Darren Joseph was in a whole pile of hurt in here because Lamar McGraig's number 36 right here is going to shoot through the gap. He's unblocked. Joseph has to take him and does. Steps up there. And then Dave Donaldson off the edge gets the sack. Dave Donaldson versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats hit Danny McManus about as hard as I've ever seen.
McManus never saw it coming.
And he really, since then, has played some good football. The bass player in the band, Dave Donaldson.
Made the play, made it sound good. 2nd down, about 15 to go. Will they get the first down? Alford maybe on 2nd effort. He's close. Three-minute warning. That's all the Argonauts have left to try and get back on top and win on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Time now for last week's Car Star Crunch of the Week.
Left side. They'll have a first down.
I don't know. I give him a 10.5.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones, a little submarine action on Michael Jenkins.
The Crunch of the Week is brought to you by CarStar Quality Collision Services. In a crunch, call 1-800-CARSTAR nationwide.
Go Green Go! Be loud and proud. and show your rider pride with a ticket on the Friends of the Riders Touchdown Lottery. 926 prizes valued at over $826,000. One major prize for every 17 tickets sold, including the $100,000 grand prize, the $100,000 grand prize, 10 GM vehicles, 29 trips, and more prizes than ever. Be loud and proud. Be loud and proud. Call 1-800-668-1999. License L010158.
SportCheck.ca is here to serve. Shop online for the best brands in clothing, footwear, and equipment, including Nike, Adidas, and Oakley. Visit SportCheck.ca or the store nearest you. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump, 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 jump. I'm the cream of the crop. I rise to the top.
Winnipeg's Dave Ritchie looks to make it 13 straight wins. Toronto's Michael Clemens wants a win to keep the playoff hopes in perspective for the Toronto Argonauts.
Obviously a much more important game for the guy on the right than the guy on the left.
Third down, less than a yard to go. The Argos go gambling, and why not? They've got Jimmy Kemp in there, and no question about that one, is there?
Well, I would say no, but they got caught on the exact same play earlier. They're not even going to measure this. No. They're going to give him the first down, and he had plenty of yardage to do that. At least 1.5.
Well, they missed on an opportunity in the first half on second down, about a foot to go. And that's almost impossible to do in this game.
Tom Europe's out of the middle of that defense.
Alford with a nice move. And he tripped over the 40-yard line. He was pinned by Dave Donaldson. There were extra yards for Alford there.
Bombers went into complete zero coverage, which means no safety help from Tom Europe. And unfortunately for the Toronto Argonauts, they didn't have an audible to go to get Ted Alford down the middle, where Tom Europe usually lines up. However, he did pick up the first down.
2:11 to go. The Argonauts need a couple. And they may get it right here. Michael Jenkins down to the 5 and sliding to the 1-yard line. A great call by the Argonauts.
Oh, well blocked up front, too. Jenkins just taking that draw with the defensive lineman looking to go into pass rush mode. And when they do that, watch Jenkins just hit the crease, and he's gone. Right now, those defensive linemen got their ears pinned back, and they're trying to get a pass rush move going. Jenkins surprises him.
Jenkins over 100 for the 7th time this season, so that is a new Argonaut team record. 7 times over 100 yards for Michael Jenkins, so he's got a couple of personal bests and set them both here tonight. 18 carries, 129 yards for Michael Jenkins.
And John Jenkins may just call his number 3 times in a row right now down here on the goal line, or at least he should.
Argos first down. It's Jenkins down to the 1. Several other Argos had 6 100-yard rushing games.
So he passed Gil Frennerty in all-time yardage in a single season. That was set in '89, and he passes him as well in 100-yard games in a single season with 7. And he's got 1 to go.
1:41 on the clock. Second time tonight that Doug Brown has been injured, and he's being tended to down near the Bomber goal line.
Yeah, and he was engaged with Earl Scott, the center, and Jenkins ran right over his left knee.
You know, the Bombers clinched this first place in the East a couple of games ago. It was a Will West.
He's going to show you that injury right now, John, to Doug Brown. And, of course, this is a huge concern. There he is right there. Watch how he's going to be engaged. And then here comes Jenkins. And Jenkins is going to run over that left leg. Watch this. He's engaged there. Now Brown tries to slide inside. Look at the left leg get bent back into the pile when Jenkins rolls on top of it. That did not look good, and Doug Brown has not got up.
No, I started to say that they had clinched first place, and now they've lost 3 players, or at least 2 players. Rylan Wickman gone for the season. Milt Stiegel out for a couple of games. They hope he'll be back maybe next week, but they're figuring he might be back next week. The playoffs for sure. Now Brown, while he's up and off under his own steam, it looked rather serious.
That's very good news, although he is limping.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pain. The expression is in his face. And
it's tough to play out the string no matter what sport you're in, right? I mean, when nothing is on the line, the Bombers do have the streak going. But in reality, you know, when first place is locked up, and the next meaningful game is almost a month away when you clinch.
Well, you can't.
It's difficult to get everybody's mind into the game.
Well, you can't rest everybody either.
No,
I mean, you have a limited roster and you got to play. Doug Brown's got to play every down.
So here are the Argos with Jimmy Kemp at the controls going for the go-ahead touchdown. 2nd and goal to go at the 2-yard line. Does Jenkins get it? Yes. Touchdown, yes. Hang on, it's Darren Joseph with the touchdown.
They use Jenkins, John, as the decoy, and it's a great call. Look at the decoy. Get him going there and get those linebackers looking over there. Look at Tom Europe thinking, hey, maybe it's going to Jenkins. Europe jumps out of there. Influences Brian Clark. He just hesitates for a minute, and that allows Darren Joseph to get in there for the touchdown.
His first touchdown of the season. 22 yards rushing for Darren Joseph coming into this one tonight on 7 carries. So carry number 8, and he has the go-ahead touchdown.
Doug Brown usually lines up, and that's exactly what the Argos decide to do. Brown's out of the game. That's where Brown usually lines up on the field. So run right at him. They moved Antonio Armstrong up in there in the interior of the defensive line. You can see how Brian Clark was frozen temporarily, and that allowed Joseph in, and a little bit of relief for the head coach.
I'd say a lot of relief.
Well, it's not over yet. Minute 38, but now
lots of time, but the Bombers need a touchdown to win this thing and keep the streak going.
And
12-7.
You don't throw Kahari Jones in the game at this point now that he's cold, hasn't played the entire second half. It's just too big a risk in my mind to throw the starting quarterback in now. So you're going to ask Brian Ayet to drive the team probably the length of the field to win for the winning point.
Yeah, he's going to need 70 yards anyways.
Yeah. Shoe is off. Doug Brown, they're looking at the lower leg.
He walked off under his own steam, but there's no way we can tell how serious the injury is. He was shaken up earlier in the game.
You know, when you take Rylan Wickman out, and if Doug Brown can't, worst case scenario, can't play, that's the heart of your defense. That's right down Main Street of your defense. Your middle linebacker and your nose guy.
Bombers will begin at the 40-yard line. Darren Joseph gets into the end zone from 2 yards away, and there's the UPS scoring drive for you.
Well, as 8 plays, 74 yards, and just the footnote to it is that Jimmy Kemp, it was his 2nd series of the game.
UPS moving at the speed of your business.
You know, now, of course, the media all week long will say to Mike Clemens, why didn't you make the move earlier?
Say he didn't want to be compared to Mike Keenan with the hook too early.
Right.
From the 40, Brian Ayet has a receiver short of the first down. Jamie Stoddard makes another catch.
We'll say this about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this year. In this 12-game winning streak, they have found ways to win games that they had no business winning. I think back to the BC game in Winnipeg.
Matt Kellett missing the field goal.
Lions had a chance, should have won that game. The Bombers have found a way. Can they find it? Can they do it again?
They have time with a minute 17 on the clock, albeit they have a rookie at the controls. Bruce made the catch. Arlam Bruce the third, and a nice toss from Ayet. Bruce caught it.
Yeah, that was
the second time.
John, that was a frozen rope. That one was on its way into the inside. Watch Brian Ayet step up in the pocket. Watch how hard this ball hits. Arlam Bruce, he has to double clutch.
First and 10 at the Argo 47 for the Bombers now. 1:03 to go. Not yet.
Bruce again.
Too high. Adrian Smith was covering, and did he have a shot at it?
Well, it was overthrown. This time it looked like Brian Ayet kind of overstrided when he went to deliver that football. In other words, he stepped too far forward. That ball sailed on him, and Adrian Smith had a better chance at it.
Yeah,
Arlan Bruce probably just pulled it out of there, or at least distracted Adrian Smith enough that he dropped it.
58 seconds to go. Second and 10 at the 47. Make it the 48. Ayet back in a hurry. Not much of a charge. Now it comes. No flags. Rio Smith was covering on Arlan Bruce. Rio Wells, I should say, on Arlan Bruce. One play to go. It's all right here.
They've found a way. They're searching right now, and Mike Clemens has got one play, and he's in command or control, at least for now, of that third playoff spot in the West.
51 seconds to go, all or nothing. Batted down. The Argos get it on downs with 46 seconds to go.
Well, it wasn't pretty.
No, it was not.
The Toronto Argonauts. But sometimes you can put one in the category of not pretty, but effective.
12 wins in a row for the Blue Bombers, an incredible feat.
Chuck Levy got his left arm on that football and knocked it down. Take a little relief from this guy's face. Yeah, there's that big smile we're used to. All right, Mike.
Well,
that makes that Sunday game, BC and Calgary, pretty important for the Lions.
Does. Still 46 seconds on the clock, so the Argos have to erase that.
I said it earlier, but I think it's worth repeating. If the Argos, they win tonight, they hang on, which they will, 43 seconds left. Now they're going to win this game. If the Lions lose against Calgary on Sunday, the Argos are in control. They haven't locked up the playoff spot yet, but all they have to do is win their final game, and the Lions cannot catch the Argos in the West.
Well, the Argos' magic number, holding on to this victory right now, is 2. Coming into the game, it was 3.
And now it's
any
2.
Combination of Argo wins and Lion losses.
Now remember, there's the standings. Remember, Lions have 3 games. If the Argos now win in their final game of the season, right, they'll have 17 points. And the Lions, if they lose on Sunday, will now be 5 points back with just 2 games to go and won't be able to catch them. So that means the Argos will have control of their own destiny. But that's a big if. The Lions have to play still.
Well, they've actually got 3 games to go.
That's right. But that's
Calgary
the scenario.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's the scenario that Mike Clemens was looking at prior to this game. Of course, he needed this win to make it work.
They've got Saskatchewan next Saturday. And then that final game, November 6th, against Hamilton. Right?
Yep.
For the BC Lions down the stretch. So 3 games to go. Well, it would appear this streak, this incredible run, has come to an end for the Blue Bombers. 7 of the Winnipeg wins during the 12-game win streak were by 5 points or less. Still, you have to take your hats off to Dave Ritchie and the Blue Bombers.
It
it's
was
been
a great run. No question. A great run. You know, and now his biggest concern is Doug Brown. Milt Stegall, will he be ready? You know, and I'm sure they have to strap Milt Stegall to the bench to keep him out of the playoff game. Likely rest him 1 more week, and then he'll have the 2-week bye. But Milt Steagall's another concern, and then, of course, Rylan Wickman gone.
Now, the Bombers will never admit this, particularly the coaching staff. But, you know, when you get on a streak like this, you know you're going to lose at some point.
Rather be now than in that East final.
And that's exactly where I was heading, partner. I mean, I'm just thinking, hey, we can shake this one off. But you don't want to lose next week, your final game before the Eastern final. And obviously, Parrish the thought of losing in the Eastern Final after this incredible run. So I don't think there will be too many tears in the Blue Bomber dressing room tonight.
No, and you didn't play with your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there's
three-quarters
all
of the game. Hey, and it's interesting in the West, isn't it? With the Argos over there.
Yeah, and how about those Argos in the West? Chasing the Stampeders and the Eskimos and just ahead of the BC Lions. Darren Joseph, well, he got the winning touchdown, but it was a long time coming for the Toronto Argonauts. A little joy here is the Argos' magic number to make it in the West is down to what? 2. Magic number 2.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the Casio Wrist Camera. Store up to 100 digital images. The Casio Wrist Camera opens up a whole new world of visual communication. Or $200 in Sportmark gift certificates. The coolest brands for every season at guaranteed best prices. Also shop online at sportmark.ca. Sportmark, real stuff for real people. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Time to answer the TSN Playbook Trivia question. What Argo defensive lineman recorded 5 QB sacks in a 1988 game against Edmonton? The answer, Rodney Harding. Hit tsn.ca/playbook for contest details and play.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Super 8 Motels, and it happened late in the game. Michael Jenkins, the Argos can thank him for this big play. A 33-yard scamper by the power back, put him on the 2. A couple of plays later, they were in the end zone for the winning points, and the Argos get it done. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Coaches Association for the training and development of amateur coaches across Canada by Super 8. Clean, friendly, all the room you want. So it's 12-7. The Argos are still very much alive. There's the man who put it into the end zone. Back to wrap it up right after this.
Man, that sandwich was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Here, I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Time now for last week's Car Star Crunch of the Week.
I don't know. I give him a 10.5.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones, a little submarine action on Michael Jenkins.
The Crunch of the Week is brought to you by Car Star Quality Collision Services. In a crunch, call 1-800-CAR-STAR nationwide. SportCheck.ca is here to serve. Shop online for all the best brands. Check out our online web crasher and hot item deals. Enter our latest contest and get a heads up on weekly in-store specials. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Hey.
Remember, Wendy's pickup windows open late, so you can eat great, even late.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Well, we got more action for you tomorrow on TSN. The Eskimos and the Rough Riders. We will have a pregame show for you at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Tune in. It'll be me and Chris Schultz in the old studio because tonight is the final night that Eric Tillman is with us. He's moving on to bigger and better things to put together the Ottawa Rough Riders. Best of luck, my friend.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Schultz.
Good luck, man.
And Matty.
Thank you, Matty, and everyone at TSN. It's been a blast.
And Schultz, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
See you tomorrow.
All right, for the Eskimos and the Rough Riders. Coming up next, On TSN, of course, Sports Center is coming your way with James Duthie and Darren Detition. They are set to bring you all the news of the day. The news in Toronto, at least in the Sky Dome, as the Argos pull one out of a hat. 12-7 is the final. Michael Jenkins, they rode his back to victory. An important win for Pinball Clemens and the Argos. Their playoff hopes are still alive. Thanks for watching, everybody. On behalf of our entire crew, this is Dave Randolph saying, there you are, Eric.
Hey, man.
Eric down at the Sky Dome earlier today. You have been watching TSN, Canada's sports leader.